That difficult apostolic journey was a balm on the open wounds of the Iraqi people, who had suffered so much from the inhuman actions of ISIS. It was also an important trip for interreligious dialogue, another significant dimension of his pastoral work. With his 2024 apostolic journey to 4 countries in Asia and Oceania, the Pope reached the most peripheral periphery of the world.
Pope Francis always placed the gospel of mercy at the center, repeatedly emphasizing that God never tires of forgiving us. He always forgives, whatever the situation might be, of the person who asks for forgiveness and returns to the right path. He called for the extraordinary Jubilee of Mercy in order to highlight the mercy is the heart of the gospel. Mercy and the joy of the gospel are 2 key words for Pope Francis. In contrast to what he called the culture of waste, he spoke of the culture. He spoke of the culture of encounter and solidarity. Il tema poi della fraternità ha attraversato tutto il suo pontificato. The theme of fraternity ran through his entire pontificate with vibrant tones. In his encyclical letter Fratelli Tutti, he wanted to revive a worldwide aspiration to fraternity, because we are all children of the same Father who is in heaven. He often forcefully reminded us that we all belong to the same human family, and that no one is saved alone. In 2019, during his trip to the United Arab Emirates, Pope Francis signed a document on human fraternity for world peace and living together, recalling the common fatherhood of God. Rivolgendosi agli uomini e alle donne di tutto il mondo con
addressing men and women throughout the world, in his encyclical letter Laudato Si, he drew attention to the duties and shared responsibility for our common home, stating that no one is saved alone. Faced with the raging wars of recent years, with their inhuman horrors and countless deaths and destruction, Pope Francis incessantly raised his voice, imploring peace and
found a group of people, and people are being programmed on social media to hate their country, which is self-hatred. I was in America. I sat down with some Nigerians, and they started. I told them, I said, listen, before you continue, Nigeria, a person will graduate as a medical doctor and spend 500,000 throughout to become a doctor. Throughout. I said in America, and they're working in Johns Hopkins. Go and ask them how much. You graduate from Johns Hopkins, you graduate from Harvard as a doctor, and you spend $2,000, are you okay? Do you know how much money you spend? Now, Nigerians are ungrateful. They will go through everything, education. How much do they spend there? Go there. I said, look, you see a Nigerian, if they tell him in Nigeria to do 2 jobs, he will curse your life out. He will come to America, wake up in the morning, do first job, do second job, do Uber, and do everything he's doing. I said, if they put the fraction of this energy they put here in their country, they will have blown. They kept quiet. He told me, he said, listen, what's the unemployment rate in Nigeria? I said, we don't calculate unemployment rate. He said, no, you must give me a figure. I said, there's no figure. Nigeria, there's nothing like that. Let me tell you why. Yaba did a trade, they were just for church members to sell things. I thought they just put out tents like this, 1, 2, 3, in the car park. I wasn't saying this thing is a waste of time. One lady said, came to me, the pastor, thank you for doing this. Now, just to show you, she was selling wigs. She has a job. Before my eyes, somebody came out of the church and bought 3 wigs, each one 250,000. That business is not registered though. 750 grand that girl carried home. There's no job she's doing. So if somebody is in their house and just starts selling wig, are they unemployed? No. But are they registered as employed? No. Our statistics here is different. Understand your terrain. Do you understand what I'm saying here? You see, one of the problems in Nigeria, people don't understand their terrain. Understand your terrain. In America, you will sell like that. IRS is coming for you. And you go home with 750,000. Out of that 750,000, 200,000 belongs to government. Don't drop it. You will see jail. Are you following what I'm saying here? Understand the terrain. Sit down and say, what is this terrain? Then understand it so you know how to play. The girls and the lady said, when you get more, send to me. In other words, I'm telling you that person could have bought 1.5 million on wigs on the spot. And if you see the lady buying, you will not know she has seen 2 million in her life. My mind was renewed. This is Nigeria. Do you get what I'm saying? The land of opportunity where good cometh. Are you following what I'm saying here? So what you should say every day is good cometh unto me. Give all these people. Say Nigeria happened to them. What are you talking about? You understand what I'm saying? Listen. In America, there are 4 people groups that are doing better than Caucasians. Nigerian Americans are, I think they're number 2, Nigerians. And they said why? It is the family of Nigerians, the way they raise their children. Which means the generation that left Nigeria when they got there still raised their children the Nigerian way. And the Nigerian way says book first before talent. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Get degree, whatever you want to do, do. If you say you want to paint, paint. But first of all, bring certificates. And that's the way in. Why people are saying, what are these Nigerians doing? Because they tell their children education. You enter a Nigerian home, they are disciplined. The value system here is treasure. You now go there, you go and join people. I say, hey.
Has long been in a very complicated system. Most of you who are young like me, we were born into this system. But that's not what can allow Burkina to thrive. Because in this situation, there are only 2 cases. Either we accept to fight, or we remain slaves forever. I told you once, there are those who are slaves in their minds. They can only serve their master. And those people try every time to manipulate you. You must advise each other. Because every situation can be exploited by these enemies of the nation to try to discourage you, to demotivate you. So you must advise each other and not pay attention to certain remarks, even on some media. Not everyone is obliged to be patriotic. You are the first patriots. You have decided to defend the homeland. There is nothing better than that. Those who want to support you, let them support you. Those who want to discourage you through writings, you must close your ears and move forward. As for those, we will fight them here. So, we must remember something. Recently, there is a so-called NGO. It's not even an NGO. Because NGO stands for non-governmental organization. They are not non-governmental because they are funded by a federal budget, by a state. This so-called NGO produces reports claiming that the FDS and the VDP commit abuses. It went in here, it came out there. It's to tarnish your morale. It's to scare you, to prevent you from being able to fight. No. Moreover, we are going to file a complaint against this NGO because people need to understand something. What is happening to us here? It's true that they have manipulated part of our populations in the Sahel here, but they didn't have that kind of weaponry. What brought such significant weaponry into their ranks? It's Libya. Who destroyed Libya? It's this NGO, the same NGO that made false reports and gave them to those who wanted to create a rebellion so that people would intervene and overthrow Gaddafi. And the powder keg ended up being poured into the Sahel. These millions of lives that have been taken in the Sahel, we must file a complaint against this NGO because it is responsible for these false reports it made to support this thesis of attacking Libya. They have no moral lessons to give us.
That you find with barber or dreadlock, arrest him, barb his hair, and find him. Nobody should carry any kind of health record again inside MENA. I have given you marching order, the security agencies. Anybody you find with a weapon, deal with him as an armed robber. So for parents, warn your children, warn your words. From this moment, it's 100% fire for fire.
Has Nigerian called off this strike?
No, I haven't gotten that update. So.
If Nigerian has not called off the strike, cancel and suspend every APC flight now with immediate effect. People's lives and the safety of our equipment, safety of our crew, safety of people's lives, first and foremost. If any other airline, I don't want to hear, the vice chairman just called me now and said that he heard that we are trying to cancel flights, that other airlines are flying. I don't care about that. I just don't care about that. Suspend every APC flight nationwide this moment. We should stop flying. We look at thunderstorm everywhere. Look at the kind of weather we are going into. And NIMET that is supposed to be providing this thing is on strike, and we are flying. Suspend every APC flight with immediate effect until further notice, until that strike is over. Suspend it. Safety first. Safety first. In APC, I don't want to hear any incident or whatever. Please, if people want to collect their money, let them collect their money. If people want their refund to go and fly elsewhere, let them collect. But I don't want to have blood in my hands. Please suspend every APC flight with immediate effect. Thank you.
Respect to Pope Francis is none other than Pope Peter Obi. Sorry, I mean Mr. Peter Obi, former presidential candidate of the Labour Party. He went with Cardinal Francis Arinze to pay his last respect. Hey! You see, while other people dress up for the occasion, Peter Obi just rode in with his usual black and black uniform. The man is always funeral ready. You know, just tell him who died and the address. He's always ready, dressed for it. Obi almost went with governor of Benue State, that Reverend Father. But the man blocked him from visiting ID camps in his state, you know. And Obi said, okay, you're a Reverend Father boy. Sorry, I can't take you. Why? You know why? Why the man blocked him? Because he doesn't want people to know how bad things are in his state. The governor doesn't want people to know. Meanwhile, even politicians who haven't tested 40-year-old brandy posted their tributes to the Pope. Former Governor Umo Eno of Anambra State posted his photo with Pope Francis, proudly rocking his knighthood gown. Look at it. Even our own Okendibe, one of our post-colonial African writers, posted his handshake picture with the Pope. I can imagine Chinua Achebe or Wole Soyinka queuing up at the Vatican for a photo op with Pope Francis. You know, maybe there is a picture of that. But what do I know? What do I know? So what of us ordinary people who never met the Pope? What about us? Will Pope Francis still intercede on our behalf when he gets there? Or will he say, no selfie, no salvation? Will he tell Mary, the mother of Jesus, not to pay attention to our prayers because we didn't take pictures with him? Is that what will happen? You may think I'm jealous that I didn't get a chance to take a picture with the Pope. Yes, you are right. Next Pope that will show up, I'm going to find him for a handshake and a picture as proof. I don't want to miss that blessing. You know what I mean? But is this why they take pictures with people? Is that why people take pictures? I have no idea. So next time I see you trying to take picture, so you want, so that's what they're doing. The picture that we show when you die. To Fiakwa. To Fiakwa, no more taking pictures. Nobody. Africans, who did this to us? Who did this to us?
No, this rally make my blood pressure go up.
And the people who are asking a platform for him, who are supporting him.
So you should get a filter sometimes. Filter your thoughts before you say.
I'll continue to take blood pressure medication.
Why are you getting high blood pressure, Jonava? Now,
I'm not taking medication for myself. I'm taking it for people like Paul and some of you guys that after the January, February something, and then people like Soludo, that is a good spoiler. I thank God for his life. He's working for my God.
And I am ready to die defending Nigeria in whatever way. When it is God's time for us to go, it is
you
not
took my
going
time to talk. You are ready to defend Nigeria. I gave you my time.
No, I'm coming.
Alexi, hold on. You already started.
What I'm saying, defending Nigerians is this.
I gave him my time and he's using it to defend Nigeria.
No, sorry. I'm sorry.
Alexi.
I have nothing new to say.
People are hungry.
Let them die. It's their fault. Yeah, I'm supporting Tinubu 100%.
You're supporting Tinubu?
100% to deal with Nigerians.
Jeez.
People like you. So that when next election comes, I will now see whether when people bring money, you will vote for them or you will do your conscience.
I just want to say that some of us are ready to die for Nigeria.
One of the people paying respect to Pope Francis .
1 trillion 911 billion 844 million 833 naira and 46. I'll take that again. 1 billion 911 1 trillion 911 billion 844 billion 1 trillion. This money is too much for me. 1 trillion. I hope that is not on the record. 1 trillion 911 billion 840.
I just want to say that some of us are ready to die for Nigeria. For example, my very personal self. I've been living outside Nigeria for so many years, and I've refused to take the passport of the country where I'm living. I still hold my Nigerian passport because I have hope for a better Nigeria. My kids and my grandkids, they have Dutch passport, but I've refused to take it because I love my country. And I still believe I'm a Nigerian. I am an Igbo man. I schooled in Lagos, CMS Grammar School. I lived in Lagos for more than 18 years. I lived in the north for 6 years. I'm a tribalized Nigerian. So all my whole friends in Nigeria, they're Hausas, Yorubas, Igbos, Middle Belt, name it from wherever. I still believe there are decent and honest Nigerians who want a better Nigeria. And for ever so many years that I've been living outside, I want to let you know that I've been fighting to defend Nigeria anywhere, at the airport, anywhere in the world. Because if you live in the West, you travel, you see how they treat Nigerians with Nigerian passport. All of us are condemned criminals. Anywhere in the world, once you show your green passport. But I've never stopped. I know how many times I've lost my flight because of trying to defend Nigerians with Nigerian passport at the port of entry in many parts of the developed world in Europe. Why am I doing it? Because I still believe in that country called Nigeria. I lived in Mali for 13 years. I was the president of Igbo community in Mali. I was an executive officer of Nigerian community in Mali for so many years. But it is among us, is our problem. Because I remember vividly when Abacha was in power, when he wanted to come to Mali, some of us resisted that no Nigerian community would go and welcome Abacha in Mali. But some of the executive of Nigerian communities, they go and took money from the embassy and they went and welcomed Abacha in Mali. But some of us who are still honest Nigerians, we resisted that. We welcomed Obasanjo when he came. We welcomed Abdul Salam when he came. I've been a community leader for so many years. While in Kaduna, I was an executive member of Igbo community in Kaduna.
Don't forget, that state is now an oil producing state. So they now have derivation, if you are not aware. So if you want to speak for anybody, please do not defend a Kalata like a Yabelo. Please do not.
Okay, let me respond to him 1 second.
Do not defend a Kalata like a Yabelo. Do not.
All right, thank you, Mohammed.
The people of that state.
Can I respond to him?
No.
Then go to hell. Rudolph, go to hell.
All right.
Rudolph, I've never seen this part of him before. My God. Tinubu is a criminal, yes, of course, a categorical grade 1 criminal. The only person more criminal than Tinubu in Nigeria is probably Babangida. But he's a criminal, and is he fit for purpose? Absolutely not. Should Tinubu be the president of Nigeria? Categorical no. Is there a better option than him? That is subjective. So show me who he is.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. My name is Rudolph Okonkwo. Today is Saturday, April the 26th, 2025. It's another Saturday. We are live here in New York City, and it's a beautiful day here. Hopefully, it's a beautiful day where you are. Thank you for joining us, those on the comment section, those who are in the studio. We are going to start the show and have a great time. These are the stories we are following. Of course, most of you know that the Pope was buried today in Rome. At the burial, we saw different world leaders come around, and they played a role in saying goodbye to the leader of 1.4 billion Catholics in the world. Amongst those that came were people like U.S. President was there, Prince Williams of the UK, and people like Senator Babio came to represent Nigeria. He's the leader of the Nigerian delegation that went to the event. So we're going to talk about what it means. On the sideline, we saw Trump met with Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, and they had a one-on-one meeting where they discussed the ongoing war with Russia. So that's something that is interesting, and we are going to talk about the implications and the election of a new pope, which will happen within the next 2 weeks. The Cardinals are getting together. They're already in the Vatican, and they will elect somebody to replace Pope Francis. Would that be an African pope? That's a question most people are trying to figure out. So we're going to talk about that. Also, in Nigeria, the political environment in Nigeria is heating up. Nothing has changed in terms of the security situation. Even though Tinubu is back, they are still killing people in Benue State. So we're going to talk about that. The idea that Nigeria is turning into a one-party state is something that is of concern to most people in Nigeria. We're going to talk about people who are moving over to APC, almost everybody, and what that means for the country and the upcoming election in Nigeria. Of course, other issues including state police, which people thought that this is the point when they will move ahead with state police to help the governors control the situation in the states. But no, they are suspending that. So we're going to look into why they are doing that, what that means for the governors who are dealing with influx of foreign headers. All right, there are so many issues in the news, but I want to throw it back to you guys to help me coordinate what is going on. I know I do miss some things, and we have a long list of things in our notes that we sent out to people. But let's bring in people in and then start the conversation. Thank you again for joining us. I appreciate all of you. And let's go. Thank you. We got to 80,000 followers, subscribers on YouTube. Come on, clap for yourself. I saw it. We made it. Thank you. You see, you thought I will never get that. I know. Our friends are at 800,000, 8 million. I know, but this is the first step. Next time, 800,000. I'm telling you, it's just 10%. What is it? 100% will be 800,000. You can do it by subscribing. Pim. That's it. Pim. And for those who go and unsubscribe, let me tell you, they don't tell me who you are. YouTube doesn't tell me who you are. I will have come to your house to talk to you and say, what? Come on now, let's talk. What did I do? I mean, today I might upset you, I know, but tomorrow I'll make you happy. It happens maybe once every 4. How did Tinubu say that? Fortnight. Fortnight. Come on. Thank you. All
Welcome, everybody. I can see Show, I see Jide, I see Mr. James, and I see Ike. Show, welcome to the show.
Yes, good evening from beautiful England. Good to be with you all.
Yeah, nice to have you. For those who do not know, Show went to Nigeria. He didn't want me to tell you guys, but he's back now in a safe territory, so we can say he went to Nigeria. I have some videos of him dancing Owambe in Ibadan. I can't play the video because of copyright issue. I'm working on it to get that to. Sure. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll get to you quickly because I need you to tell us what you saw, because it's very important to get on the ground reports, from one of our crack reporters, which is what you are when you leave this studio and go on the streets. Thank you so much for joining us, Joe.
Thank you.
All right, I'll come to you first, but let me just greet all the people. Jide, thank you so much for joining us. Did you watch the Pope's funeral?
I watched a little bit, but honestly, I watched a little bit, but I was focused more on other things, my work and stuff, so I didn't really pay so much attention. But I actually did some analysis. I listened to podcasts on what was going on, so I didn't watch it.
Okay. I will get your take on that. I want to hear. I know that you are big on post-colonial African history, and most of them are buried in the Vatican. We'll get to that. Mr. James, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I think I'm all right.
Okay. Were people in the Gambia? Did Gambia send someone to the Vatican today for the funeral?
I do not know, because the death of the Pope has nothing to do with me. It's of no importance to me, frankly speaking.
No, not to you. I'm talking about Gambia. I know.
If they send people, well, maybe the population of the Christians here is insignificant.
Okay.
They're about less than 10%. Or they will send somebody, I believe so. But it's of no importance to me, so I didn't bother to discuss the issue with people in town.
I understand. All right, let's say hi to Ike. Ike, welcome to the show.
Yeah, Doctor, good afternoon.
Yeah, I was playing around during the week, and I saw this video of you saying you will never give up the Nigerian passport. I will never give up. That was some years back.
Exactly. I didn't forget that.
I know.
Yes.
It was interesting.
And necessity is the mother of every invention. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, it was good there. You traveled to your country, didn't tell us. What are you afraid of?
He's worried about some of you might call the Tinubu people and said he's coming home. Get him.
Okay. but it's good that you're back safely back to your base. Welcome back.
Thank you.
He's back to civilization. Sure, welcome.
Mr. James, God bless you, and my brother Jide, you are blessed.
All right, let's start with Show. Show, give us a situation report. What did you see? Did anybody try to beat you up at a bus station or newspaper stand?
Unlike Sam O, who went to Lagos and was trying to tell people that Tinubu is doing well, they should bear with Tinubu and the rest of that. I was very mindful of what I said to who, so nobody wanted to beat me up. But Nigeria is Nigeria. I got there, and the things I saw, like Sam also agreed, or like said when he came, is a Tinubu supporter. I'm not. So, but I agree with him totally. As soon as you land into Nigeria, you just see poverty. It's just everywhere you look, there's poverty. It's always been that way, at least since I've grown up. You've always seen poverty around, but the only issue is you see it a lot more. Everywhere you look, the people look hungry and angry, dejected, almost hopeless. They don't have to say anything to you. It's just poverty everywhere. And I went around. It wasn't just around, some exclusive areas. I went around Ibadan. I was in Lagos. I was in Ikeja for the most part in Lagos. But I was in Ibadan, where I was born and I grew up, and I just saw things are just not. It's very hopeless. I went into ShopRite. and it looked dingy and dark because most of the lights are off. I think I sent you some of the videos of the fridge section, of some of the majority of the fridge freezer section in ShopRite on the ring road in Ibadan. The last time I was there, it was busy, but I think they had only about 2 or 3 tills open because they didn't have a lot of customers. Most of the fridge sections were turned off, the freezers turned off because they didn't have customers. Slightly better when I went to ShopRite in Lagos in Ikeja, but Ibadan ShopRite, the two they have, one on the ring road, one in the within Cocoa House. It looked dead. Like, honestly, you go in and you're thinking someone should put on the light because they didn't have a lot of customers, so they turned a lot of things off. There are a lot more beggars on the roads in Ibadan. And when I say beggars, I'm talking children. I'm talking children under 10. Once they see your car, they can profile the cars. They know what cars to approach. They start knocking on the windows and begging for money in Yoruba. They were speaking Yoruba, begging for money. Now, I don't know if they are Fulani Hausa kids that were born and they've just left them, or they're actually Yoruba, full-blooded, but they're begging in Yoruba language. And I'm thinking, these kids are meant to be in school. Why are they on the road begging for money? Some of the things that have been there is a lot worse now. You see a lot of able-bodied men that should be working. Maybe they're not educated, which is a fault of the state, but 25-year-old guys selling handkerchief from morning till night. How is that contributing to the economy? Handkerchief. A grown man selling pet Coke Fanta within the ring road, Challenge, all these places where these are guys that should be in the warehouse driving, forklift and all these pump trucks and all these things. People who are familiar with Ibadan would know Sumal. They made chewing gums back in the days. They should be working in places like Sumal. Should be working in our industries, our companies. When they talk about production, these are the sort of guys that can contribute rather than selling handkerchiefs. I mean, what does selling handkerchief and face towel? Grown man. And everywhere you went, people were begging you for money, begging for money. They will see you or guy. I will tell them, oh, let my driver give you money. They will say, lie. No, don't let your driver, because they know the driver will probably give them 500 and say, go away. So they will say they will insist that it is you that must give them money. So these are the things that I saw when I went there. Some of my friends that I saw the last time I went, who were driving nicer cars, I saw their cars, the same cars. Those cars look tired. They are not able to change them. And these are guys who have decent jobs, by Nigerian standard. Then another thing that I saw, which I would say as the last thing, is the hotel I stayed in Ibadan, because I went for a wedding, and maybe about 40, 50 people went for the wedding from the UK, and maybe about 10 people from the US. Everyone had their own personal police officer, mobile police. So there's this thing that they do now. People would rent a 4x4. They call them upgrade. So the chassis and the engine would be like a 2008 Toyota Land Cruiser or a Lexus, like a 2008, 2010. But the body would be like a 2016. The light, the tail light and everything, indicator. So they look like a nicer, a more recent model. So they call them upgrade. Everybody would rent one. No number plate. The number plate will have been covered with a leather case or whatever you want to call it. So there's no number plate, which I think is dangerous. And every one of these cars has a siren. They have something inside. They will press it. You'll be making siren. They are flashing like you would even think that like a dignitary going somewhere. But these are regular guys who just come from UK, US, Canada, all these places, China, that have a bit of money. So I didn't have one, because I didn't need one. I'm not. There's nothing to protect. It's just me and my wife and my children. So nobody's looking for us, at least not that I'm aware of. And probably because I've been accused of working for the DSS, so I'm one of them. So they're not looking for me. So my driver now told me that, I think you should get one of these police officers. It's 330,000 per day. That's how much it costs to get a police officer with gun that will sit down in front. And I thought to myself, we don't have enough police officers. And everybody is now hiring one, which reduces the number of officers to protect the general populace. When I come out of the hotel and I get into like the car park, every day, on an average day, you see about 20 police officers just waiting there for their Oga to come out and join them for their daily journey or whatever they're doing. And I'm thinking, for how long are we going to do this, that everybody has their own police officers? They told me it's 30K for a day if I want one. And I'm thinking those police officers would prefer that than to go and be standing in the rain, sorting out, dealing with armed robbery. Because with this job, on top of their salaries, I just did, in my head, I'm thinking, if it's 30K per day, let's even say the police officer gets 5,000 a day on top of their basic salary. If they do that for 30 days, that's 150,000 on top of their salary. And when they go out with Oga goes to eat, what some of my friends were doing, they will buy takeaway for these police officers because officer won't stay at the door of the restaurant when they go and eat. So when they come out, they'll buy takeaway for them. They'll give the officer takeaway. So the officer would come and eat twice a day, 3 times a day, and is getting extra money. And these are the police officers that are meant to be looking after everybody, but they are now for hire, carrying people's bags. They're helping people take their trolley. They are fighting with the bellboys at hotels to carry luggages. And I'm thinking, these are our police officers. What has happened? Police for hire, 30K per day. Me, I didn't have who? Before God and man, as they say, I didn't need one. I didn't hire one. They told me to come and rent a G-Wagon. Oh, guy, you can afford it. I said, who told you I can afford it? I don't need G-Wagon. You see this Honda Accord that is driving me around the Ibadan? I like it. It's okay. It's beautiful. But honestly, there's not much to fill you with hope. Whatever Tinubu and his people are doing, and the state governors, because I can't exempt them, it's not working, at least to the naked eye. Maybe will work later, I don't know. But whatever they claim to be doing, it is not working. The people are poor. Things are so expensive. Let me give you a typical example of what happened. The last time I went to Nigeria about 5 years ago, I bought a full goat. The biggest one from the allergy that we buy from 5 years ago was 24,000 naira. Full goat that I fried and I brought with me. I went back to that same guy. The biggest one is 130,000 naira. 5 years ago, 24,000. Now 130,000. What's the minimum wage? How much meat do you get from one goat? So so you just see a lot of poverty around. Honestly, I feel like they've called me an alarmist on this platform many times. It just feels like Nigeria is on the brink where the people would actually revolt, because the poverty, you can almost touch it. People are hungry. They're angry. The average guy in Ibadan just looks like he wants to fight you. Like they are not even smiling at all. So how can I go and tell those people that Tinubu is doing something? That Tinubu is doing? No, they will beat you. They will literally beat you up. So I don't know how Tinubu wants to win in 2027. Like Sam said, if he doesn't rig Lagos, he can't win Lagos. And I think it will be the same for most states. And I think, sorry to go into some of your topics that you might want to discuss, I think that is why they are doing what they are doing. Because if you look at the 3 states that they've attacked in the last few months, River State, I think Fubara, anybody can predict that Fubara would eventually join APC and they will let him finish his 4 years and send him packing. They've taken Rivers, basically. They've taken Edo and they've taken Delta. Those 3 states, Peter Obi won it. So he won those states, especially because they're not going to get as much love in the north. They'll still win it, states in the north, but I think they're trying to consolidate power in the south. They can forget about southeast. They're not even trying. But south, they've taken 3 states now. So I think these are the things, because I don't understand what's APC going to campaign with in 2027. What exactly are they going to tell the people? I met people who are telling me the last time I ate was yesterday. And I'm talking to them at 2 p.m. And they're telling me the last time I ate anything was yesterday. So far, they Nigeria. So
hold on. So what did they complain about the government, whether state or national?
No. They complain. So they complain about the state government. But mostly, a lot of people are just saying Tinubu. His name was on everyone's lips. Tinubu this, Tinubu that, Tinubu this. And I'm thinking, you're preaching to the choir. I'm like you. I don't agree with anything these guys do. Honestly, I can speak for Ibadan and part of Lagos that I went to. The people are not happy at all. They don't believe in anything Tinubu is doing. When I was telling them that Tinubu is about to get, I don't know if you mentioned it, that they're about to install solar panels at the ASO Rock for 10 billion naira, which is about $6 million. Some of them lost their minds. Like, sorry, how can the president be installing solar? So what's going to happen to the rest of us? I said, more darkness for you people. So a lot of people don't believe in what Tinubu is saying. I don't know if the tribal cards will come out again. I don't know if Oro will come out again. I don't know what they would tell the people in 2 years' time. But as of today, the people are not happy with Tinubu and whatever he's doing. They are not happy at all. And they have every reason to be upset with him. The poverty is too much. Way too much.
All right, let me give a chance to people. We make you an emergency guest as we speak, so they can bring out more things from you. Ike, do you have anything to say to Show? Any question for Show?
Yeah, my question to Show is, were you in Ibadan City or you went to your village?
I'm one of those people that probably don't have a village. You see,
Okay.
I'm a city boy. I'm just joking.
Okay.
So I was in Ibadan town, the township of Ibadan.
Okay.
Is Show mystery shopping? No, I wasn't mystery shopping. I was just with everyday people in Nigeria. You see, some of you, like Man of Prestige, you know, when he went, he came, he said he was in Via, he was in Lekki, he was in this, he was in that. Those places exist. But the majority of Nigerians are poor. You can't argue that. Even the people borrowing you money are telling you that more Nigerians will be poorer. So is World Bank misery shopping? They are projecting more poverty. That's not from me. That's from World Bank. The people dashing you money, borrowing you money. They said there will be more poverty in the land. So I wasn't misery shopping. I was just dealing with everyday people. And the people looked poor. Like I said, I didn't experience it. But you can see it. You can see the people. So, Uncle Ike, I was in Ibadan. I was in Ikeja. I met some of my friends who were doing, in fact, I was telling Rudolph, I met one of my schoolmates who is now a politician. Him alone, he had like 4x4s, like 15 police officers around him. He's run for office twice. I think he's lost twice for House of Rep. But he's a big politician now in Nigeria. Said hello to him. I walked, I ran into him at the hotel. So there are people who are doing fine, but the percentage is too little. So some of the people who could afford to live a decent life before, like teachers, like a public school teacher in the past, would be able to do decent things for their families. On Easter, I was in Ibadan for Easter, and at 2 o'clock, while I was just driving around, I'm quite observant. I like to think, and I saw chicken. When people have chicken for sale, at 2 o'clock on Easter Sunday, there was still chicken for sale on different, parts of Ibadan. When I was growing up, you won't find chicken on 2 o'clock on Easter because all will be sold. If you wanted to buy chicken on Easter, you'd be paying premium because you've left it too late. But people couldn't buy. So it's not a case of mystery shopping. It's just a case of what you see. This person saying that I'm mystery shopping. In fact, let me say this, because I walk the streets of Twitter. So let me say this so that they can hear me. I walk the street of Twitter incognito. A lot of times I go around some of these platforms and I'll listen for 5-10 minutes and I'll bounce if it doesn't, I don't like what they're discussing. But I go there quietly. I don't comment. I don't join. But I hear people speak. And the funny thing is, people, when they speak in their little places, they think it's almost like secluded because you can't see us. You don't know we're there. No, we're there sometimes. This same person that is asking me about mystery shopping, somebody asked him about a year ago. And I have that clip. I have the clip. Would you invest in Tinubu's Nigeria? He said, never. As long as I have the opportunity to invest in the West, I won't. Telling me, am I mystery shopping? But you said you will never invest in Tinubu's Nigeria as long as you have the opportunity to invest in the West.
Okay, my last question to you, Show, is the emotions and the feelings of the situation in Nigeria. Are the people expressing it to you openly, or they are afraid of trying to express it to people, the situation they find themselves? Is it an open discussion or just inside they want to tell you?
It depends. It depends on how the people perceive you. If they feel like you are on their side, if they feel like you are not on the side of the government and they won't get into trouble for telling you the truth, they will tell you the truth, or at least what they believe that you agree with. So most of the people I met told me that they were not happy. They have no hope in Tinubu's government. They are fed up. Some of them said they regret voting. But I still met people who told me that Tinubu is doing well, that these things, to paraphrase, baby steps of pain or whatever Tinubu call it. You know, along those lines, like these things, we would have to pay a price that we've lived a life of luxury that we couldn't afford, and Tinubu is doing what other politicians should have done in the past. So I met people who still believe and support Tinubu. They exist. And I'm talking about people who don't earn a shishi from Tinubu. It doesn't pay them. So there are people who genuinely, truly still believe that Tinubu is onto something, that is going to do something that would benefit Nigerians in the end. But the reason why I don't take them seriously is because they are the same people who told me that Buhari was laying a solid foundation, that by the time Buhari finishes his 8 years, Nigerians will be grateful. And whoever takes over from Buhari will just have a, easy run. Now, if he was a PDP guy that won, or LP guy, after Buhari, they will say, hey, he doesn't like him. But it's the man that boldly told us that he put Buhari there from the same party. So they can't even say we don't know each other. But he's taking over now and he's telling us that he inherited a dead economy. So he's building another foundation. I don't know, Julius Berger and all these people, I don't know how many foundations they are building. So Tinubu's people are telling us now that let him do second term. At the end of the second term, you'll be grateful. He will finish his second term, they will bring one fool from the north, from APC again, and they will tell you that one has started another foundation. When are you going to start building? Yes, but to answer your question, people will speak to you if they feel that they are safe around you. Otherwise, they will just tell you Tinubu is doing well and everybody will go home.
All right. Thank you, Ike. Paul, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I think, Sho, welcome back. One part that Sho said the people have completely lost hope. I think I want to disagree with that. Like Francis Bacon would say, blessed are those that hope not, for they shall not be disappointed. The people still have hope. Culture, religion, tribe, still giving them hope. You understand? Hope might mean enmity. This is the person that is affecting me, but we still have hope that someday we're going to kick these people out and things will work. So they still have some type of fake hope all around them, but they are hopeless. But the day you lose hope completely, then you find your way that, okay, there's no road here. Let me look for alternative, which so many people do. And the new alternative now these days is called Japa. You understand?
Japa is expensive now because of the exchange rate. Japa is expensive because
it is
like
really
2-3 years ago. To Japa, I mean, some of my friends who came to the UK about just after COVID or around COVID, the guy was telling me that it cost him about, maybe 4 million naira for him, his wife, and his young daughter. Maybe the wife came as a student or something like that. 4 million naira. My nephew is trying to Japa now. The boy is telling me that 4 million naira doesn't cut it at all. So because of the exchange rate, the uni fees they have to pay in pounds. I mean, then 3-4 years ago was like 700 to 1 or something like that. Now it's 2,100 to £1. So Japa is not for the poor. It's not easy, my brother. Japa is no longer an alternative. It's damn expensive.
Sure, I know a man. I know him very, very well. He's a king now. Come from where Ojinika Okpe come from. He's their king. You know what this man does? He's into hotel and management. What he does, you understand? We have what we call so many poor landlords. You know those people that are in Kent, in London, that struggle, live in one small cubicle and build one small house. You know those kind of poor landlords. These days, people sell their property to travel. What the man does, they just come, they assess your property, and they tell that landlord that struggled to build a house and managed to send 3 kids as a graduate. I'm going to send these 3 of them to UK and give you 20 million so that you go deep inside, go buy one small land and build. And they said it as quick. That's why you see real estate is booming, those low housing place, not all those type of lecky house. So people sell house like crazy to Japa, all those poor landlords, because it just makes sense where the man struggled, worked for 30 years, is a poor landlord and successfully was proud. Yesterday, they have 4 graduates. But your 4 graduates, they snowball and come back to eat from the father. Some of them get pregnant to people. Some of their daughter is pregnant. They still feed from that same property. So they are also poor, other than they don't pay bills. So it brings shame to them. So when somebody introduced to them that I'm going to buy this house and send these kids to the UK, I think it makes sense when they tell you that we're going to do it the right way, send them to Germany, send them to here. You understand the right way and every other thing. And people just look, what are we waiting for? By the time the 3 of them, they razzle the father, even though the father want to prove stubborn, we'll see that. I think it makes sense. You understand? Like you still get some cash. So property is going. This is what this man is doing. It's a new form of selling property. So it's not like the son is telling the father, Daddy, just sell this house. The father will say, I will swear for you. So there are all type of nonsense methods going on. Things are really, really hard in Nigeria. In fact, these days, people even flash you with WhatsApp. Like they flash you with WhatsApp. So things are hard, things are bad. But Doctor, I think where I want to contribute my little one, I just want to talk about the airport thing, the Nimet guys who strike the other day. It kind of beat my heart.
Hold on, Paul. Let's. I want us to go around, if possible, just or maybe people can indicate they want to talk to show, and then we go to normal show where we talk about one topic at a time. We don't.
Okay, I thought you were still asking this funny question of what they didn't put into the show.
No, we're not doing that today because.
Okay, that's fine. Then that's fine.
Okay,
that's fine.
Enough topics. Yeah. All right. Let me bring Jide because I know that show has to leave. So Jide, any question for show? And I'll go around and then we go to the typical show.
Yeah, nice to hear from you, show. Yeah, great to see everyone again. Thank you, Dr. Damages. Yeah, I mean, very interesting and very disturbing to hear this. I'm not too surprised. I was just going to ask that what about the security situation? I'm very concerned about the security situation. What did you observe? And what is the safety like regarding movement and everything like that?
So Ibadan is relatively peaceful, safe. And that's why I was surprised that virtually everyone who came had a police escort with them. Maybe some of them will be traveling because not everyone is from Ibadan, grew up in Ibadan. So maybe some of them will be traveling, to other places, Undoa, Korea, and all these places. Maybe that's why they had all these police escorts. But throughout my stay in Ibadan, and even in Lagos, there was no issue at all. At no point was I afraid of anything. Although I didn't go out much at night. By 10 p.m., I was back at my hotel most days, but there was no reason to be afraid of anything at all in Ibadan, at all. And something that I noticed is Lagos, most of the roads, you had cleaners, almost like 24/7 people cleaning the roads in Lagos, like literally sweeping. Maybe not the best method, no face mask and all the health issues that might come later, but in terms of Lagos, it looked clean. Ikeja, of course, the gutters that don't flow would always smell and all of that. But in terms of looking at it, looks clean. People were cleaning it 24/7. No fears at all. I went out, with my friends, hung out, restaurants, bars here and there in Ibadan and Lagos, and at no point did I feel like I was not safe. At no point.
All right. Thank you.
That's a beautiful. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Jide. KJ, welcome. You're muted.
Okay, I'm sorry. Good to see you, Dr. Rudolph, and so good to see you, Sho. Good to have you back. You've said almost everything that needs to be said. All I just want to let you know is that if you're hoping that it's going to, the suffering is going to change the situation, well, maybe you got something else coming because we're just going to adjust and sit back.
I don't think so.
I have given up that anything is going to happen because there's nothing more to take. I'm serious. I mean, you have seen the level of suffering that the people are going through. And even at this point, the people are not seeing the reason to confront the system. What else is going to happen? Just like I've come to a place where Shore is right now. He said when the people are ready, the people are not yet ready. And, I'm waiting for those who, when we said on this panel, concerning the insecurity, and they said it was certain governors that were organizing the insecurity. Those governors are no longer in place now. I don't know whether it's the present governors that are organizing and orchestrating all those stuff. But it's good to have you back. And I know that Ibadan is relatively peaceful, unlike, other parts of Nigeria. Ibadan still remains the last frontier. Let's see what goes on in the next 6 to 9 weeks, 9 months from now. Welcome back.
All right, thank you, KJ. Kulaka wants you to answer. How many people did you see with Kwashok or
You see, so let me start by saying when Tinubu was shaking and falling and all of that, and we tried to say he didn't look well, they said we're not doctors, we're not qualified to diagnose people by looking at them. So I'm not sure how I'm meant to diagnose people to say this person has kwashiorkor and all of that, but I can say for a fact that a lot of people I saw did not look well. In the past, I would have gotten irritated and annoyed and whatever, and reacted to all these things. But for me, it's quite selfish to see people who look like you. You're not a colonizer. You don't have pointed nose. These are people who look exactly like you. And you see them, most of them don't look well. There are people who look well in Nigeria. Of course, they exist. But majority of the people, like people, I'm not talking about people who don't have a job. People who have a job, like a hustle, a mechanic, tailors. There are people who have jobs, but the people that should engage their businesses cannot because they don't have money. So these guys are not making as much money as they used to. Or are you arguing against this fact? So to make light of it and ask how many people had kwashiorkor in Ibadan, I don't know. But most of the people I saw did not look well. I grew up in Ibadan. I know what people used to look like. Yes, there's always poor people. There would always be poor people. But what percentage? This bona that you are having when I'm speaking, go and have it when World Bank tell you that there'll be more poor people. When they tell you that over 10 million, the way they just dump tens of millions of people into poverty in Nigeria, it's almost like we've become numb to it. They'll just tell you, World Bank, IMF, 10 more million people will become poorer in Nigeria. That's 10 million people. That's a lot. That's more than some countries just go into poverty like that. They say it. Forget what I'm saying. When they say it, is it Peter Obi? Is it something? Is it propaganda? But when we say it, we see it, we go there, we see it. You say it's propaganda. To gain what? Am I paid by Peter Obi? I've never met him. I'll probably never meet him. There's nothing he has that I want. But you say the things you see, and people would, because of politics, because of somebody who has found a way to capture them, because of their love for him, he cannot be criticized, would say, I don't know how to help you. I don't know if you can be helped. It's not my task. It's not my job to help you. I hope you find salvation and you find peace. But the people don't look well.
All right, thank you. Sure. Man of Prestige, welcome.
Yeah, greeting everybody, Dr. Damage. Sure, nice to have you. Welcome back to the land of peace and everywhere. So it's nice to see you, man. So my question is that I don't know, this recently bill that was proposed by Carlo, for granting indigenous status to people wherever they reside. How is it vibrating in Nigeria? Because I believe some people do oppose it. Probably more Lagosians than any other people will oppose it because of, So did you hear about it?
No, short answer is no. What Nigerians are dealing with right now, majority of Nigerians, let me be specific, it's beyond where you're born, state of origin. People want to eat. So those sort of conversations, you can have it. You would have such conversation with people who are probably well-read, people who are, In fact, what will shock you is if you go to Nigeria, you went recently, and if you discuss politics, you will find out that you know more about the news stories in Nigeria than they do. They don't pay attention anymore. A lot of these things don't bother them. They just want the next meal. They just want to eat, just want to feed. So to answer your question, not one person mentioned that level of discussion to me. No, people were just saying, things are hard, Ilule, Keneko, there's some before, if we do this, we make this money, we can do this before. So that's the sort of conversation you have, very baseline, very, not anything high level. People just want to eat, really. They just want electricity. I mean,
so one more question.
I follow. Pardon?
Did you take people pause about what they think about the president government? His election, was held today. Where will APC? How would they feel? Did you take people pause? Anything is happening. We know about Nigeria, but just
I didn't ask people who they would vote for because I don't know who will be running. But from the conversations I had with a few people, not a lot of people are happy with Tinubu. It doesn't mean they won't vote for him. Like I said, tribal cards might come up, religious cards might be played, whatever might happen. Tinubu might find something, he might do something between now and the next 2 years that will make the people happy. But as of today, a lot of people are not happy with what they are saying. It doesn't mean they hate him. Some of his people, Sam O came here. He's a Tinubu supporter. He ended by saying, I still support this government. But Sam O said, Tinubu will not win Lagos if he doesn't rig Lagos, based on what he saw. He's a Tinubu supporter. Abi, it's not one of us. Abi obedience. We agree. It's Tinubu. So, man of prestige, people are not happy. They're not happy with the standard of life that they're living right now. So if there was an election today in Ibadan and it was free and fair, Tinubu's chances would be very slim, especially if he's up against somebody who the people like, But if he's up against like an Atiku or something like that, maybe he would win and all of that. But if they present a credible candidate, he will struggle to win in Ibadan if it was free and fair, which is very unlikely.
All right. Thank you, Show. Chim, welcome to the show.
Sure, welcome. I have nothing to contribute.
Wow.
Why now? Ask me a question now.
I'm happy you came home.
I fly tickets, go Nigeria, come back. Chim, ask me a question.
Tell me, say you dey travel. Make I ask you to bring biscuit or gari or tomato.
Send your address now. Send your address. Make I send something to you.
Okay, put your address on the comment section.
Don't put it there, my brother. Tell Show to tell us when Nigerians were happy. So I should. So I saw the question. I'll take it from Kulata. Kulata said you should ask me to tell him when Nigerians were ever happy. You see, no matter human beings, we're insatiable. We would always complain. We would always have need for more. As the singer sang, Dangote still they find money. So Dangote wants more money, despite what he has. Jeff Bezos won't turn down $10 note if you give him. So people would always want more. But what we're saying is it possible for things to get worse? Yes. Have things gotten worse for Nigerians? Yes. That's what we're saying. So we're not saying there was a time that Nigerians lived in paradise and everything was perfect. No, that's not what we're saying. But you have eyes, you can see now. You can see, you can feel the people's pulse. You can see how people lived. I grew up in an area where you had a bit of opulence, you had a bit of whatever on the other side, not too far away. Even the people that didn't have much then, they could buy chicken for Christmas and eat. Last Christmas, a chicken was selling for about 30K, 40K naira last Christmas. Minimum wage is 70,000. So the person on minimum wage cannot afford to buy one chicken, and that is okay with you. I don't know what they did to deserve you, but
all right, let's go to James. James, welcome.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Oga.
What's your opinion of Kadri Alabi's case? That's the question.
Oh, the young man. I've not actually followed the case. To be honest, I've seen it because while I was in Nigeria, I was really busy, and I think that's when the news really broke. So all the while I was in Nigeria, I saw the headlines, but I've not really followed the news. I read what his people on his side. I think the human rights lawyers, what they said, how he got incarcerated, but I've not really followed the news. But it doesn't surprise me. If you remember, there was a case of a guy in Osun State that was kept for how many years because of his stole chicken or something like that. So it doesn't surprise me that the young man was locked up, especially his picture became like, something that resonated with a lot of people, hailing Peter Obi and all of that. And opposition or not opposition, Peter Obi's opponents might not like that and whatnot. Based on the story I read, I can see why they wanted to get rid of the guy. But to be honest with you, I've not really read the story or followed up on the story as much, so I cannot opine on it as much as probably you would like me to.
All right, James, thank you. Final one, AY.
I don't really think I have questions for Shu, but Alpha Shu, the goat meat, Alpha.
He choke. Oh,
You will just
he
say somewhere.
choke.
Yeah.
And if you need officer 30,000 per day, officer for hire. So
Yeah. the part I wanted to contribute, right? The issue of politics, sometimes we need to really tell ourselves the truth. What is really sad now, we don't have a position in Nigeria. This is the reality on ground.
I agree. We don't.
It is a big problem. Just like during last election, when you tell people election, you only win election with political structure, people don't seem to get it. Actually, I still stand with that. But what I'm seeing right now, we can discuss whatever we want. From the political atmosphere of Nigeria, my conclusion is, except Atiku will drop his ambition and all the opposition, the SDP, the PDP, the fractional PDP, the fractional Labour Party as well, they can come together and work against Tinubu. I think the election will be over, because from what we are hearing now, you will see more governors, more honorables, the so-called honorables, the capital APC. It is really a problem. So I think that's what we should watch out for. If the opposition are really ready, they need to start building it. And you need to build a position without Atiku. I mean, Atiku can be there as a experienced advisor, as a mentor, or whatever. But Atiku contesting next 2027 election is just going to be a walkover for Tinubu. Trust me. It's going to be a walkover. They are not seeing that. They agree it's a problem, but it's just sad what is going on. Yeah. Rudolph, one other thing you did add to this talk I really wanted to have discussion about is the Canada election. Yeah, I don't know if I can speak on it now.
No, not yet.
Okay.
We'll get to that. I know that you mentioned it, and we have Tim here who will give us updates. We're interested in what's happening to our neighbor. We may have to go and invade and take over the election. They can't get the so we'll get to that. Let's go to the Vatican first, because
okay. Just before I leave,
go ahead.
Yeah, no, just before I leave, I just wanted to say something regarding the ASO Rock solar panel, and I would just leave, because every time I talk about Nigeria should do this and do that, there's a particular guy here. I don't know if Nigeria has happened to him or not. I've not seen him in a while. In the comment section, it was very, notorious, and he would say, "I'm an alarmist. Nigeria doesn't have money. How much is the budget of the NHS? NHS budget is bigger than the whole budget of Nigeria. We are broke. We can't do all these things." And I used to give the example of, you just give people paracetamol for free at our primary health care. He would say we'd have no money. If I had told such people a month ago to say there was, recently, UCH, University College Hospital Ibadan, one of the first ones and the biggest ones, that the Saudi royal family used to get treatment up until like the 70s, 80s. UCH had no power for 4 months, no electricity for 4 months, UCH, because my mom gets her treatment from UCH, our outpatient appointment is there. And they would charge them for diesel money now as part of the, so you pay to see a doctor. I think it used to be 1,500 5 years ago. Now I think my mom said it's about 3,000 or something like that to see a doctor outpatient appointment. You pay that, and you pay for diesel because they have to put diesel on. So you pay for all these things you pay for. If I had said a month ago and say, let us power UCH, the version of it in Calabar, one in the north, one in Kano, like maybe 10 hospitals, and let's spend 20 billion naira, they will have said, where's the money coming from? We don't have money. But all of a sudden, there's money, there's 10 billion naira to power ASO Rock. ASO Rock is going to go off grid. So they want consistent electricity. And Bayo Nonuga, the sort of people some people like to listen to, is comparing it to the White House. When Nigerians criticized that move, he said they have solar panels at the White House, that they use solar at the White House in Washington. If we dare compare Nigeria's situation to America, US, their children, I don't want to call them unfortunate, because they're our brothers at the end of the day. There are children here and everywhere else, the ERATs, they will tell you don't compare Nigeria to America. But their uncle, Bayo Nonoga, is comparing Nigeria's situation to the US. They feign ignorance. They don't understand English anymore. They become very foolish people. They don't understand. But if any of us dare compare the US to Nigeria, don't compare the two. It's unfair. Compare us to Ghana. Compare us to Togo. But now Bayo Nonoga is saying that they use solar at the White House. The reason why they use solar at the White House is because they're trying to lead by example, not because they don't have electricity to power White House, not because they can't afford it, but they feel let's go green, it's cheaper, it saves money. Is ASO Rock going green because they just want to be green? No.
Sure. Let's just make it straightforward. Rudolph lives in the US. He lives very close to Washington. They are doing solar panel in White House because, like you rightly said, the US is pushing under Biden, not under Trump. Is pushing the green policy, Paris Accord and all those things. So they're leading by example. It's not because like you said that there's no electricity. We have electricity all over here. People are coming to my house every day to ask me to put solar panel. I'm asking myself, can I afford it? Because if I put it, I will get some so-called electricity credits back. My electricity bill will drop and all those things. But you know what? We want to dwell in deceit. Like some of the people who are parading themselves and telling us that you are lying and everything. I can't engage these kinds of people because my level of thinking with their own does not fit. So there are people I've ignored now. I'm not going to talk to them because I can't.
I'm just saying it for the sake of people that might read their comment and run away and think they're making sense. They know what they're doing. It's like Pojo Yemade. They're not foolish people. They know what they're doing, but we need to let people know that, okay, this thing they're saying is nonsense. And for the same person asking for empirical facts, that is just emotions. So empirical fact. Since 2023, when Zadi came in, over 14 million Nigerians are falling into poverty. You ask for empirical, you don't turn to Rufai Husseini. Empirical. Over 14 million Nigerians since Zadi came in, falling into poverty. So go and argue with data. You know data is stubborn. You can't fight it. 1 + 1 would always be 2. So over 14 million people have become worse off since your, grand patron came into office. Ireo.
No, before you go, don't go yet. Before you go, I want to show this, and maybe you can help us understand. Just a quick video.
Definition of poverty has changed. These people are irredeemable. Oh, maybe they can't employ me. I'll do a better job than these people.
All right, so I just wanted to give them a little take of show. That's show enjoying in Nigeria.
I was going to ask, is this show?
That is show enjoying in Nigeria. So when you hear some of the things he's telling us here, just take that with a grain.
Now I know why he didn't tell us he was traveling, but that's fine.
Doctor, just to let you know, that money na fake, na fake currency, not be real one.
The money is even going into a bag, so they can't come for me now.
So what is that?
No, not fake.
Is that 1,000 or 500? What are you?
I don't know. It's printed. It's not real money. It has no denomination.
They are just dishing it out like that.
Sure, are you not sure EFCC are looking for you?
I'm their son now. I work for them, so we are one and the same.
Anyway, so thank you so much for that situation report. And we
show came to get liked. Poor people dancing with Shegun Johnson. I didn't tell you I was poor. I said it on this show. By any standard in the world, I'm a comfortable man. Any denomination, any currency, anywhere in the world, I'm comfortable. So I said that it doesn't affect me, but it affects a lot of people. That is where we're different. Some of us care for more than just ourselves. Some of you, as long as your belly is full, bamu bamu la you awaumo, baby pomeni kon. So we are full. We don't care if the next one is hungry. That is the drum some people are beating. Some of us care. But I'll leave you to it.
Oh, before you go quickly, there's somebody who I wanted to know if you were able to see him while you were in Nigeria. Hold on, he's just into the studio. Let me see if I can get him up.
Righteous man.
The righteous man. Righteous man. Yeah. Righteous man. So, did you meet Show, or did Show just do the same thing all this or people do to you when they come home?
You know, there's much fake life among the Nigerians that live abroad. Too much fake life, but it's too much with the people that lives in America. Because while I was in Europe, if I tell you that I'm coming back, I'm going to see you, I will see you. And some of my friends in Germany, anyway, and Spain, Holland, each time they are coming back, they tell me, oh boy, check me out in this hotel.
But sure is in Europe.
And I will go there. But you see the Americans. Let me be honest with you. The problem we have in this world today, if you analyze it critically, is coming from the Americans. They are not sincere people. I'm telling you. If an American, if somebody that is trained in America or that lives there or that was born there, if he's telling you 100, check it, it's 50. They are not reliable, honestly. But I'm not aware that Show is in Nigeria. But Show is not from America. I think he lives in Europe. I think so. So he can't behave like you people, you know. I choose what I do.
Righteous man, you are living American life in Nigeria. You live in a big house. You don't live a British life in a small house, 4 bedroom, 1 bathroom. You live in 4 bedroom, 5 bathroom in your house. Is it not American life you are living? So which means you are living fake life.
No. It's not about where you live. I mean your character, your behavior, your antecedent. The Bible says, let your yea be yea, let your no be no. If you are somebody that lives in America, if he tells you that is giving you a call by 1 a.m. Nigerian time, brother, go and sleep, forget it.
Well, you told us that some people come to visit you from South Carolina. You told us that people came from North Carolina come to visit you. Now these are Americans. You told us yourself.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't say North Carolina. I said from Tennessee. I have my white friends, you know, we've been friends for almost 20 years now, you know. But unfortunately, I lost one of them during COVID. The American whites seems to be more sincere than the black Americans. And just, especially when it comes to Nigerian Americans. In fact, you hardly believe their words, you know. If they tell you they are coming, just take it. If they knock at your door, you take it. If they don't, you just count it as one of those things. But those that live in Europe, I think they are more sincere. If they give you their words, at least they keep up to 70%. But those in America, oh my God. Nigerians are in Canada, they are also good, you know, because I meet with them, I do work for them. But Nigerian Americans, oh, come on. They believe that you are not existing. And I don't know. I don't know what is in America that will make you think you are ahead of others. I don't know.
Righteous man told them.
Sometimes I begin to imagine it. Is it because of dollar?
If anybody should be proud, it should be us in the UK. Our currency has a last name. No other currency has last name. Pound sterling. Imagine. Pound sterling.
That is true. Arrogant. Until Nigeria will start giving me that pepper, and they say, "Oh, you see pepper for America." Till Nigeria will give me ordinary pepper, I don't go give them money because you go Nigeria, they don't give you pepper. They will ask you, "They see pepper? You they see egusi? Common pepper." You go Nigeria, your brother cannot give you common pepper. They cannot give you, but they want you to pay their children's school fees, pay house rent, buy car for them, but they can't give you pepper.
You have the video of the shop right.
Paul, orange said they will not give you orange.
No, I've been trying to, if you can send it again. Righteous man, thank you so much. But I know you didn't hear when Show was telling us his feedback on what is going on in Nigeria, but it kind of validated things you've been saying on this platform. So you should be happy about that.
Yeah, Dr. Damages, you see, the truth remains that it will be very difficult in life when you know God when you have a personal conviction that there is a living God, a supreme being that is higher than every other personality or any other creation, it will be very hard for you to deceive people and tell them lies. What I report in this platform are things that are verifiable if you want to be a sincere person. Anybody living in Nigeria today that is living big, three things are involved. Either you are a government contractor, a politician, or you are pressing computer. But if you are doing a normal, legitimate business, my brother, you know there is you. Nigeria is gone, is dead. That is just the truth. There is nothing good in being politically correct in what is happening in Nigeria. There's nothing you will gain by being a religious bigot or a tribal bigot. No. The reality is that Nigeria is gone. APC have destroyed every fabric of Nigerian society. It is a gone, destroyed society, you know. And if we start hammering on this thing because they watch your platform, if Nigerians can stand up and say it as it is without fear, then these people will know that yes, the truth is that these people are aware of what they are doing. But in this platform, like Sho was saying, you see those people that were born with cow milk, you know, that were they grew up under the nutritions of cow milk. They didn't take their mother's milk. They are the one that will come in this platform and say, righteous man, you are lying. Righteous man, you are doing this. Tell us about the price of tomato today. My brother, my father was a farmer, a successful farmer, both parents. So if I tell you anything about the farm crops and the courses, I am doing the right thing. It is only that some people use it in the comment section as a means of abusing me. But it doesn't touch me, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't remove anything from me. You know, I am who I am, and I will remain who I am. But I will continue to tell you the truth that Nigeria had been destroyed by APC. You are hearing decamping today from east to west, north and south. But I'm telling you in 2027, mark my word, because I have friends across board. Mark my word, they will deal with the Northerners will deal with APC. Go and mark it. It will be a surprise. Let every governor in Nigeria decamp to APC. The Nigerian people are going to vote at APC because Nigerian people have not decamped to APC. It's only the politicians, those rogues, those who have embezzled and stolen our money. They are the ones that have decamped to APC. How will somebody be held for embezzling 1.3 trillion naira? He was detained. All of a sudden, the same person now had freedom. And the next thing was to decamp with the state governor. And you think we are living in a right society that should be applauded? It's a shameful thing. In fact, if I'm a Nigerian living abroad, I would be ashamed to tell somebody that I'm a Nigerian. With what is happening here, they have destroyed democracy.
All right, thank you, righteous man. Let me put up this video so that Show will explain to us, or not a video, a picture of what it is.
Oh yeah, so this one of the nights I went out with some of my friends who have more money than I do, that have police escort. So we went out, and this is their police escort. You know, sat down very close to where we were, with his gun and everything. Took off his helmet, got a bottle of Guinness and a second and a third, and the guy slept where he sat because he was tired. And I said to them, I said, is this the person protecting you? You people, I think you should do something better with your 30K per day, because the guy was tired. I think that was like maybe like 9-10 p.m. and the officer slept. I mean, that's a police officer right there that should be doing better things, protecting Nigerians. But somebody can afford to pay 30K, and look at the guy drinking Guinness, slept off. They had to wake him when we were about to leave. So these are the sort of things you get these days. But no, you know, there's no empirical factor, and this is not unique to Nigeria. Maybe it happens in the US too. Who knows?
Wow. All right. I have other videos. Maybe when next time, if you have a chance and you still come in, and we can get to that from your trip. I have this video of the Right Aid that you talked about, where there is it Right Aid? No, what is it called?
ShopRite. This man has been away for
It's
too
Right
long.
Aid
Right
here in
Aid.
America. ShopRite, yeah.
I have to leave now. I have to leave, but I just wanted to say something quickly before.
All right. Let's hear Chim before Chim goes. Chim.
Sure. Thank you very much for bringing up that. Though we've tried to find the lighter side to the whole story, but project. It's always good to hear people who have gone home firsthand to see these things and come and let us know that that all is not well. I still feel terrible when I see people who make it look like people, like Beju or Yemade, who banding on scientific data in trying to push his argument and all those kinds of things. Some of the people who are trying to keep Nigeria backward. I hope Nigerians will wake up, for those who are eligible to vote, and take their destiny in their hands and try to do the right thing. There's nowhere in the world that anybody is going to have state police or the city police attached to you to come and be protecting you the way we do in Nigeria. But again, I end with this. The typical Nigerian, especially those who come here, we know, I won't mention their names, to come and tell us everything is all well and good. These are people, the average Nigerian has I've arrived mentality. I better pass my neighbor, let me show off. You understand? So there used to be a time when, everybody goes abroad. You go abroad and come back. And that was the thing to show, you traveled and came back and all that thing, which is because you want to prove that you have the capacity to be able to go abroad and come back. Today now, the whole thing now has changed. It's our pastors, like the one I mentioned, trying to tell, literally like gaslight Nigerians for being honest about the situation in their country they don't like. And the man is saying that people who live abroad doing 10 jobs. And the question I asked is this: how many Americans have left America to go and pursue business opportunities in Nigeria, the way we Nigerians are running abroad and going to the UK? Because if Nigeria is working, I want to see an average American, see an average Chinese, just not people who are going to work as expatriates for companies from their country that have operations in Nigeria. I have never walked the streets of Nigeria and seen any American walking freely the way we walk. It doesn't exist. Perhaps one day we'll wake up from this our solution. Nobody wants to see Nigeria fall. Forget about all the things we come here to say sometimes. I want Nigeria to progress. But the truth about the matter is I'm not going to be, dwelling in a delusional, prism. Let me put it that way. Last week, a friend was posting something on Facebook about AJ. That see how AJ is enjoying Lagos. And the question I asked for them was, and he said, meanwhile, people, he had used some negative words. And I said, but AJ, if AJ had been in Nigeria growing up, will AJ accomplish what he has accomplished? AJ has accomplished, the same AJ wanted to box for Nigeria and they were trying to take bribe from him. That's why he went to the UK. Now he has succeeded in the UK. Before the man will even carry British flag, we're the ones putting Nigerian flag on him. But it is not the British. It is not the Nigerian flag that brought him to where he is. It is the British flag. It's the honest truth, whether we want to agree with it or not. But yes, he is happy to still associate with Nigeria. That doesn't mean he is the norm. He is spending the money in Lagos nightclubs that he made in the UK, not money he made in Nigeria in Nigerian nightclubs. That's the difference. So I think, thank you very much for your listening. I hope people will be able to spot the truth and stop living in delusion. Rudolph, have a nice show.
All right, thank you, Chim. I appreciate that. Let's sure, final words. If you have any final things you want to say before we go to
final words. I don't even know if there are any final words to say. I just feel like Nigerians deserve a bit better than they're getting. I know that we don't have a lot of resources. It's quite scarce. But based on what we have, I think our politicians can be a tiny little bit kinder to the people. And if they don't, I know that people might not believe me, but honestly, based on what I saw, it almost feels like we're on the brink of when people would actually revolt, because there's only so much people can take. So if they are politicians, if they are their people, whoever is watching, just loosen the strings of the purse and let the people. I mean, you promised that you let the poor breathe. So please let them breathe. The people are actually struggling. It's too much. And the way we're living, our politicians, I mean, I heard they've just sent a few people to Rome to represent Nigeria. So we're not living like a poor nation. Our politicians are not sacrificing much, if anything at all. So please let this be balanced. I've been told that my view of Nigeria is not balanced, but don't let that bother you as much as our politicians not being balanced in the way that they're sharing the resources. That should annoy you more than my report. I'm just sure, who am I in the grand scheme of things? But our politicians who hold and sway, they have power. They're the ones should be annoyed that they are not being balanced in the way they're sharing our common wealth. So the things that should annoy us don't annoy us as much as the things that don't really matter. My opinion. How many people is watching now? 307. In 2 weeks' time, in a year's time, maybe 5,000 people will watch this. But when Akwa Ibom speaks, the whole of Nigeria would listen and they would hear it. So these are the things that should bother us. And us as citizens, we should stop letting the referee decision of El Clasico, or those of you that watch basketball, there's this corrupt referee. I've never seen such bad refereeing. Don't let that worry you as much as bad officiating when it comes to your lives. Stop calling somebody a master strategist when they're literally playing with your lives. Your lives are at stake. The lives of your children are at stake. So when you say master strategist, at what? Politicking. How about governance? So I'm imploring Nigerians at home and abroad. We would always be on different sides of the aisle. I'm not saying join me and I don't want to join you. But as much as you support your favorite person, when they are going, too far left or too right, it is your job to nudge them in the right direction to say, okay, as much as we support you, we don't think everything they do cannot be right now. So please, on a serious note, banter aside, whatever aside, they are your favorites, but when they are wrong, even if you don't want to criticize them, don't defend them when they are wrong and people are calling them out. I wish Nigeria well.
All right. One more thing. This is for those who may want to see it. This is the video of the ShopRite that you mentioned, because some people are beginning to think that we don't have it. We actually have it. All right. So, and there are more videos, but maybe along the way we play some of them more. Thank you, Sho, for coming back with your reports.
Thank you.
You've earned your check as a crack reporter.
Please, I'm waiting. Anyway, have a wonderful show. Oga Pansat, I salute. Can do. Good to see you.
That's what I'm saying. We didn't get a chance to talk to you, Sho. I'm rushing in here so I could.
What do you want to say?
On one thing that you just said, actually, one of the last things you said, which is
all right. Go for it.
That you're admonishing people. Recalcitrant people like, for example, Kolata in the comment section. We waste a lot of time with Kolata, and obviously he supports the station, and we appreciate that. But he's jingoistic and he's he goes the wrong way. The question I want to ask you about people like that, like you see at home, and you come back with your report and you say you're admonishing somebody like Kolata, don't support them because you love them, they could be wrong. In the case of people like Tinubu, for example, and other Nigerian politicians, do you find that they are wrong, or they know the right thing to do and they don't do the right thing? You understand? Okay. Do you find that the situation in Nigeria is a deliberate act by people like that? Somebody like Tinubu, it's not like he doesn't know. He's been here in the United States. He's been a governor. He's been a senator. He's traveled. He's been to France. So do you find that they are evil people who know the right thing to do and they don't do it, even if they're capable of doing it? So it's not a matter of trying to correct them. Somebody like Kolata knows that even up to Kolata, for example, he knows the right thing for a politician to do. You follow me? So once we make the call that somebody like Kolata is evil, right? He knows the right thing to do. The definition of evil is that there are three angles to it, and I'll end the question with that. You know the right thing to do, you fail to do the right thing, and then it hurts somebody else, and you have nothing to gain from it. That's pure evil, right? If you have a better definition, you could tell me. So could you clarify, like you go to Nigeria, you saw what you saw, and you're saying, don't just correct them, don't disagree with them when they're wrong and correct them. Are they wrong, or are they actually doing this on purpose back home? Thank you.
Okay. So this question, if I was to answer it the way I want to, it would lead to a wider, discussion. But let me try and keep it simple. So people like Tinubu, if you listen to what I said when I referenced Pastor Poju Oyemade, and I referenced some of the guys in the comment section would, mention one of their names, they actually know the right thing to do. Because they're well-read, they're not stupid people. And I've said it time and time again, that a lot of people don't give Nigerian politicians enough, quote-unquote, credit for the evil that they do. It is on purpose. Nigeria is working exactly the way it is designed to work. It is designed to punish. It's like a machine that is designed to kill its citizens. It's like a killing machine. That's the way I see it. Call me alarmist, call me, exaggerating, call me whatever you want to call me. These people like Tinubu they know the right thing to do. You see our politicians, Orji's Okalu, there's a famous picture of him on a bus in London that he posted. He will never get on a bus in Nigeria. So they know the right thing to do, but they will not do it. If I want to simplify the reason why they don't do it, I know someone like Jide is itching to go into the geopolitics of it, and I agree completely. There are people pulling their strings, but there are certain things that they can do that the West will not even blink an eye to say, these are basic things that he can do. Yes, the West might be pulling their strings, but there are certain things that he can do. And this is where I think, now let me go to that area that I never wanted to go to. Someone like Peter Obi, if you listen to Peter Obi, he almost sounds like he doesn't understand geopolitics. It sounds very simple when he talks about fixing Nigeria's problem. He narrows it down. It's almost like, don't tell me about these white people. They've come and gone. Peter Obi is not stupid. He knows that those forces exist. But Peter Obi is saying there are certain things we can do to still improve the experience of our people, despite the external influence. So to answer your question, majority of our politicians know the right thing to do, but they would deliberately not do it because, like I said, in a simple way, it brings everybody to a level playing field, which they don't want. If there's internet and it's affordable, and there's electricity and it's affordable, what separates their children from your children? Not you as a person, Pansa. But it's part of the things that they call flex. You go to some areas, they have band A, so you get electricity. It's a flex. And you go to band no alphabet, band Z, they don't have electricity. What is the hope of a child born in that area to contest with Tinubu's grandson to become the governor of Lagos? What chance does that child have? That's a simplistic way of looking at it without even bringing the external forces. So they know the right thing to do, but they want to make it exclusive. They know the right thing. They just won't do it because it does not benefit them in any way. Like forefathers would always say, if they run Nigeria properly, they'll probably have more money to steal. But if they run it properly, it means that the byproduct, the people will benefit from, and they don't want that. They don't want you to benefit. So that's why you have poor health care. Most of your children, not our children, but most of our children in Nigeria would die at birth. They wouldn't even make it. What is the infant mortality rate in Nigeria? That's empirical fact. You put it in your computer and Google it. So that's why they won't give you good hospitals. They won't give you good schools. So that your children can never compete with their children. It's intentional. They're purposeful. Nigeria is working exactly the way they've designed for it to work. They're wicked people, they're selfish people, and God will punish all of them.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Before you go, I had to bring in Kandu. Kandu, welcome. That's the last person that we talk.
Oh, she found your lawyer, but bye. Carry on. The owner got that. Carry on.
Okay, Kandu. Kandu, can you hear me? Oh, all right. I thought you.
I know you are muted.
Sorry. Dr. Damages.
Yeah, how
are
you?
Yeah, good afternoon. My brother, sure, welcome.
Yes, sir.
There's that very famous video of you praying for Nigeria.
I said I won't pray for Nigeria.
That's what I meant, praying for Nigeria. Because, you see, when we talk about leadership, I think people don't understand what leadership is. I've said this many times, that you need leaders in any society. I don't care if it's Boy Scouts. that understand that my job is to lead my people to that promised land, is to be the Moses that may never even get there with you. And that is what we lack. And it's not about Tinubu, it's not about Buhari or Jonathan. If we're waiting for the day that democracy will be in the right sense and the beavers will be working and the right person will be elected, I have said it, I think that's probably 50 to 75 years from now. So my understanding of being in Nigeria last year is not about me trying to put together a group of people and let's go and change the politics and let's start changing the lives of Nigerians. My understanding is in whatever capacity that people are in, is to find people that are serious about their lives on the ground and find a way to support them in every way, financially, business-wise, and support those. If you're waiting for the day that you're going to change the lives of 220 million people, you will die. So what I do is I find people that I can pour into on every level on the ground. And I'll tell you, those people are doing very well. Well, relative to where they were a year ago, they're doing very well for themselves. And I think that is the only solution that I personally have. If I'm waiting, just like you, the narrative should not be how well some guy that came from America or UK or Canada is able to do. How many other people, like you said, the hairdresser lady that has a small shop, the teacher, that is the metrics by which you judge a society. Not how many people can build 100 houses. That's not how we judge a society. So if we all think that there's going to be a day where these people are going to know what they ought to know, or the things that they already know and fail to effect, it will not happen. It will be 75 years from now. So if you can find people, either people in your family that are going to be serious about wanting to change their own future, forget about Nigeria's future. I don't have that power. Pour into those people, explain to them, if you do A, B, C, D, in a year from now, your life will be better. You'll be in a position to send your children to school. You'll be in a position to at least maybe buy one chicken, not waiting for Christmas to buy chicken. Like I told some people this week, why do you have to wait for Easter to chop chicken? You make it as if chicken is some crazy thing. It's chicken. So things are hard, and unfortunately, I don't understand leadership that cannot see 5 years down the line, that cannot understand. Well, we're telling them before they voted for this man that these people, they have nothing for you, absolutely nothing. Not because we get juju, but we can see what we're seeing now is a byproduct of who and what they are. They will not change. Promise you, 10 years we'll come here, we'll be saying the same thing. We were saying this when Naira was $1 to 600. Now, only God knows where it is, 1600 or worse. I promise you, by 2027, it will be 2300 to $1. No be me talking. Now economics they talk. Thank you. Welcome back.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Sure. Thank you for that update, and we really appreciate that. Let me just announce, before we start the show properly and start discussions, let me announce that tomorrow on 90 Minutes Africa, we are going to have a special guest. Her name is Chika Odua. She's an award-winning journalist, and she will talk about something quite interesting that we don't talk about a lot in this in conversations we have on social media, and that's about re-examining culture, shunning marriage, and embracing the bohemian life. as a free spirit. It will be an interesting conversation tomorrow if you have the time. I would really ask that you join us. She has reported for all the international media. She's a dancer, something different from what you are used to. And I think it will be worth your time. All right. So we are going to now go into the conversation, and today has been quite interesting. I have a friend who called me this morning, and he woke up at 2 so that he could watch the funeral of Pope Francis. I didn't have that kind of investment to stay up to watch it, but he did. And a lot of things happened there. It's not just a funeral of a pope, but also there were meetings. One of them was the one that Trump met with Zelensky, the leader of Ukraine, and about the war in Ukraine. So we want to talk about that, the whole thing, including our own Godswill Akpabio, who went there, Senate president, to represent Nigeria at the funeral. We saw him. There are pictures of him in the venue. Oh, amazing! So this is our man, Akpabio, looking like a saint, very pensive, worried, humbled. So let's begin the conversation. I want to know what you guys think about the funeral, the whole thing that happened, and where we are. Let me start with you. I think KJ, I don't know if you are still in. People are moved around. Please, if you are moved out or in, we know you are there. We're actually paying a lot of money to have all options of keeping people backstage. Sometimes we want to rotate people so that we can get to you. Sometimes we forget, and if we forget you, just send a message. There are many moderators around, so they move around. It's not just me that is operating this. So, did you watch the Pope, the funeral, the goodbye ceremony? No, you didn't watch. You didn't care.
Not a second of it.
There are 1.4 billion Catholics in the world, and
that's good now.
You're not one of them. You're not one of them.
I'm an Anglican. We are not friends. I'm Anglican, so we're the Protestants.
But Prince William, is it William? Yeah, he was there.
It's good now. He went to represent us. So once he's gone, all of us have gone.
Now, what do you make of anyone? You can pick from any angle. There's so many stories there. The issue of Peter Obi going there, Akpabio, the possibility of a black pope, Trump putting politics into that. I don't know how they cleared the place for Trump and Zelensky to talk, and why they had to do it there. They couldn't go to a hotel. Anyway, pick any of the angles.
Peter Obi, Peter Obi is everywhere. There's a network in the UK called EE. Used to be T-Mobile. They are now called EE. Everything, everywhere. Peter Obi is EE. He's everywhere. 1 minute is in Kaduna, the next minute is in Rome. Tomorrow we'll be in Washington. Like I was telling some people, I hope he doesn't burn out from all this traveling and all these things, and he doesn't get jaded. But that's Peter Obi for you. He has influence. He has connection everywhere, and I think he went with that Cardinal. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, Rinze.
Yeah, so it was good to see him there. With regard to Akpabio and the other people that they sent, I'm about the money. You see, some people classify us as the Jebu, the Peru people. It's about the money. How much is it costing us to send 5 people, or however many people they sent? How much is it costing Nigeria to send them to go there? Because they will go there, they still won't come back with any good virtues. They will still come back and be dealing with EFCC.
How do you know? What if he comes back and does a big event, confesses that, I was touched by God?
It's not going to happen. These people, they are too far gone. Look at their children here now. They are too far gone, detached from reality. It was just they had to go and show themselves. Especially Peter Obi went, how dare he go and we don't go? So they went there. You can't, outshine us. They've gone there. I don't know what Nigeria will benefit from this. It's good that we send a representative, but I just think sometimes just send somebody low level, send one minister like that woman, Mrs. Ojuku. Send her, let her go and represent us. What's Akwabi and everybody else going there to do? Stay at home if you have a job to do. But probably because when they are at the Senate, they don't even do much anyway. So they might as well go on vacation and spend our money. So, so what else? Who else went there? Trump. See, everybody for themselves. Trump's most important business is what he's dealing with while he's there. Politics has to happen. So Trump doesn't care if Trump would do. Trump. I don't want to start Trump conversation before Trump people come for me. But Trump would do what Trump has to do. He doesn't care. He could be at his own mother's funeral and he'll be doing politics on the side. So that's Trump for you. Nothing surprises me. But I've not paid attention to the funeral. I've not watched a second of it. It doesn't bother me. I know tomorrow they will do smoke. It will be black smoke, then it will be white smoke, then they will have a new pope. That much I know about them, but I've not paid attention. I'm not interested. It doesn't interest me in the slightest.
All right, thank you. And if there's anybody who is Catholic here, I will give you, I'll push you up the stage so that you speak to us, because I really want to know. Thank you, Asho. Let's, I want to know what it means for you to watch this. I'm not Catholic, but I'm interested in Kandu. Let's have you before we go to. I wanted KJ because KJ may have it.
Yeah, well, I'm not a Catholic, but I did go to Catholic school in Nigeria. But I did not see 1 second of the funeral, because funeral are not even important to me. What's important to me is what you did when you were alive. But I always talk about leadership and the importance of leadership. I remember when this man became Pope. When he came out on the veranda on that day, the first thing he said is, pray for me. Pray for me. Because he understood the gravity and the responsibility of that position. And for the most part, other than, bishops that have slept with boys over the last 100 years in the Catholic Church, the way he lived an exemplary life, true leadership. That's what leadership looks like. He wasn't sleeping in the mansion at the Vatican. The man slept in one room, just one room. Not because he could not sleep in wherever. The man went around in a little Beetle vehicle all over the place. That's what leadership does. Not that you cannot do bigger things, but you want to lead by example. Because at the end of the day, you're going to die anyway. There was no golden casket, just metal, just a plain wood casket. And this is why leadership is so important in any society. I really enjoy the man. I enjoy the way he spoke about the poor all over the world. I enjoyed the way he spoke about Gaza and all the things happening there. And that is, to me, what life is about. It's not about all this, whatever title that you have, but how do you live your life? How you live your life, how does it benefit society? And that's really what's important to me. Like I've told my family, if I die, you don't even need to have a ceremony. Just put the thing inside the box and dig a hole somewhere and forget it. It's because it's sand is sand to sand. You just turn into whatever at the end of the day. So me, I don't really care about those type of things. But a great leader, truly a great leader that led by example. And that is how I think we should all strive. Nobody's going to be perfect. It's not about perfection. But that's how we should strive to let our life be as an example to others in the way that we conduct ourselves. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. AY, there's something that Dr. Alexander Gomez wrote, which is that there they don't make them like that anymore. By all indications, the Catholic Church is poised. The Cardinals, they are most likely going to go back to a conservative Pope because a lot of people were not happy about how the direction he moved the church. Let me hear from you, AY.
Hey, yeah, ordinarily. Well, I want to just add to what Kandu said, to be honest. What I admire about this Pope, apart from being a Christian leader, I think he's a humanist. Like, I really love how he spoke up against injustice going on around the world. The issue going on in he supported Ukraine all through, telling he was not scared of anybody anyway. So I think telling Putin to stop killing people in Ukraine. When the Gaza war started, he did the same. Even a day before he died, he was telling Netanyahu that what you are doing is just a war crime. Like, this is too much. You need to stop. Even the poor people around the world. To be honest, I mean, just like what Kandu said, it speaks volume. I have said this, right? No matter the God you think you worship, no matter the religion you belong to, if you don't believe in humanity, to be honest, I think it's just waste of time. You cannot be serving God and hate your fellow human being, irrespective. I don't. It shows you don't have humanity in you. You are full of hate. You are full of injustice. I think we need to do better as people. I think he is a great example to the world, in all honesty. So he was a peaceful and great man. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, AY. KJ.
Thank you so much. Dr. Damages, if say I still get verse for my mind and for verse today, because I don't know. I've been here since waiting for the program and somebody texts me out. I don't know what's reason. Anyway.
I'm sorry, I don't know what
No, it's okay. I know the fifth verse, so there's no how I can, I just take it. Now, most people don't understand or don't know or may know that the Vatican is a state of its own. It's a smallest state in the world. So the Pope himself, apart from being the leader of the Catholic Church, is also the head of state of the Vatican. So based on that, he occupies two positions, both of a moral of a country leader and then of the Catholic Church. Yes, just like you said, and I want to respond to Alexander Gomez. The Pope, they don't make them that way, and not because the other ones have not been humanists, they have not been people-driven popes, but because he went to a way that the church itself and the Bible, which we all profess, did not envisage that a top number one priest of the world will go in that direction. And when we say that, some people begin to misconstrue it. We are not saying that being a Christian means that you will hate people who are not in that religion or people who practice contrary to what the Bible preaches, but don't seem to support what they are doing. You can love them, but don't accept what they are doing and don't make it become a norm for what you used to preach. So that was exactly where people started separating, even especially the African version of the Catholic Church. So, but having said that, he was someone who had tried to, bring some form of reconciliation between the religions and trying to even start the one world religion, which if you are a Christian, you know that is a no-go area, where you have, all the religion of the world worshiping in one place and all that. It's not going to happen because it's not supposed to be so. We all profess different things. We may be worshiping God, but we profess different things. Having said that also, if you have watched closely the burial, which I did, you will notice several things that you find difficult. In fact, throughout 2 days now, I've been running around the internet trying to do, upgrade my understanding of, what I've seen. Some of the things I've seen, some of the images are totally, out of this world. Something that you don't think, that you're ever going to see.
Well, give us an example, because some of us didn't watch.
Okay. For instance, the procedure bringing together everything, the images of certain, I don't want to call them names, so those people who are Christian, Catholics won't come for me. But there are certain symbols that are hanging up in those places, in some part of those cathedral, that exactly that, like the Baphomet, the Baphomet symbols and all that. That those things are not supposed to be there.
Why?
Why? Because it's not a symbol of Christianity. It's not. Okay. Now, secondly, the process of the canonization. Somebody said he was buried in a simple coffin. That may be true because he didn't follow the ordinance of the rest of them. They were all buried in the St. Peter's, but he was taken to the Church of the Virgin Mary, where he was going to be led permanently. But he still went through the same process. 3 different coffins. The first one, the second one, and the lead. The lead is the one which is sealed.
No. I think he rejected that. I read that he rejected that. He wanted one coffin only, one simple coffin.
My brother, I did tell you what I take my eye see. He could have rejected that. Yes, he rejected that. He didn't want the gold because there's supposed to be a gold one. He doesn't want the gold one. So he decided that he wanted, wood and one other one, and then the lead. The lead is the one that keeps the pressure of the body in that order until it will be opened many years later to see if they're going to canalize him. Now, if he wasn't put in a place where the pressure and everything will be intact, he probably not be able to last to that point where they will open up to find out if his body is still intact, and so call him Saint this person. Okay? But if you go again, and I'm saying this for maybe people who want to doubt, you can see if you want, I can post for you the process of concluding it. So you see. And after that, it's sealed by 3 different bishops, 3 bishop cardinals, okay, with 3 different, so some of those things, as a theater artist, I see them as just, aesthetics that don't really mean anything in the kingdom of God, because once a person is gone, judgment comes after that. You don't have to go through that process, So, but if, for instance, I also feel that part of what he did that a bit brought conflict between the churches. He also making some political statements which didn't go down well with certain people. I know that, like I said, he's also a head of state and a leader of the Catholic Church. Now, if you are one of those people like us who were members of the Catholic and eventually decide to move, you find out that when you look at the Vatican is a see. Okay, that means that they own part of the wealth of this world. Okay, and then if the Vatican is a see and one of the richest entities on earth, are they doing very much? Are they doing all they can for the suffering? So when somebody said that he was living a very, very modest life, what about the millions of Catholics all around the world? Are they also able to benefit from that see? I'll leave my question there. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, KJ. Pansat, welcome. You look like you are Catholic. I don't know. I'm just assuming.
Thank you very much, Rudolph. It's good to see you and everybody. I had told forefathers that whenever I'm here, I want to be big up here. You leave Man of Prestige and Paul, those people on the smaller screen. You have me up here. I'm not here that long. But anyway, KJ, today is not a day to pick a fight like that, but I'm glad that you did reckon that the Pope is also the sovereign of the Vatican City. That Pope has a lot of force. He's also the first Jesuit Pope. That means that the Society of Jesus, which is another inner order in the Catholic religion, also nominated him to lead that organization. Is obviously from Argentina. He's the first non-European to be a pope, and so many other firsts that I cannot recall right off the bat. So may his soul rest in peace. He tried. Nobody has all the virtues. The Catholic Church is an ancient institution. they do have their knacks. Some of them you hinted at. We cannot solve all that today. Today is a day to pay respects to the Pontiff, right? So I sympathize, and I'm one with Catholics. I'm not a Catholic. But, you know, I don't do things based on what I am. I'm a fair guy. I'm with the downtrodden. I'm with those who are mourning. You know, so that's basically the way it is. So on this date, I'm not going to say that much. Only to say that we're happy the Pontiff did the best he can. It's not perfect. Nobody is. He did his best, and so we should take it from there. Now, the bilateral meetings that we have with Zelensky, and Trump, that's what's supposed to be happening. You know, if you remember when the Lord was here, and people would say, "Hey, look, people are doing certain things on a Sabbath day that you're supposed to worship on the Sabbath day and stuff like that." And he didn't find that to be egregious, right? You could do good on a Sabbath day. On a day like today, Trump could sit down there with Zelensky, talk some sense into him, so he could stop the war. That's doing the Lord's work. That's doing something the Pope would appreciate. If you go to the Pope right now and ask him, should peace be pushed on the date that he's being buried, he's going to say yes. So that's a way to look at things like this. There's no need to criticize everything. Now, I know others have something to say. Paul is next, so I'm going to kick back. But I do have a lot of things I want to talk about after we go through this official thing here. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Pansat. You are getting good. Very good. I like this new Pansat, you know.
To know me is to love me.
I like that. Okay, Paul, you're next.
Well, I don't have much to say about the Pope. I think he's just a perfect gentleman. For me, I come to understand by my own findings, understand that religion is just more or less like culture. You understand? So in as much as we have good cultures, we make the culture and we can still abuse the culture. Some people use the culture to intimidate. Some people sell their culture. That's why they say rich culture and everything. So the Pope in his own right, I think he did well, but he also played politics, which is also normal. Like the way he tried to talk about the LGBTQ community. But when you talk about historically the people that they abused and everything, he didn't really say much. He just sweep it past it to, you know, kind of try to apologize because the Catholic is losing it tremendously. You understand? People stop following this path and everything. So he try around to manage people. And, you know, when people talk about the vulnerable, the way very many of us like the Pope and everything, of course, who are the people that you want to bring to the force? It is people who have already lost hope and everything. You give them this false hope, you give them hope and everything. And that's what religion does to you and the lives. I have a young daughter who they push to church every other day and everything. When I look at my phone, my credit card is gone. You know, go to choir practice and the likes and everything. Nobody will give her a ride from church. The church will find a way to help with even transportation and everything. You know, and everything. So this is what religion does to you. So when they said, "Oh, the Pope help poor people," tell me how many things that the Catholic do. I grew up to some extent in a Catholic community where I see tremendously what the Catholic did. Very many of our leaders today benefit from missionary schools, and when we talk about missionary schools, we are talking about Catholic today. But they stop doing all those things. You understand? But you know, when rich man visit poor man community, we like him. You know, just like the way Peter will be with the country thing and everything. We like him. When rich man hug poor man, we like them. When Oshomole eat corn with poor man, we like them. When Atiku eat corn with poor man once in every 4 years, we like them. You know, so it's just the same of the same, you know, and you know, the people who criticize tremendously are Catholics and Muslims. You understand? They criticize some of us who don't go to church. We are even the worst. You got to say we are the deepest. We are secret court because they don't associate you to Christian, Muslim, And they also don't see that you go to your village festival time and every other thing. So since you don't even serve juju, they say this one are Illuminatic, the real occultic people. So they criticize a lot and they hate criticism because when you criticize them, they're quick to read the Bible that I'm not part of them. They say, oh, blessed is the Bible says, judge not, for ye shall be judged. So we see all those things and the likes. But the Pope as a person and the things that he does, when you look at it historically, he's a young man, he worked, he was in the street, he saw things, he was a bodyguard in the club, and every other thing before he gave his life to God, like Christians would say. You understand? So he try as much as possible to balance everything, which I give to him, but he didn't do much when it comes to the people that the Catholic abused. Or what they do, you understand, they pay reparation, they compensate certain people, but they didn't punish people. They didn't make mention of name and punish people. They didn't really do that, like compared to like the way late Pope John Paul had to apologize some of the things that Catholic did. You see, the way Americans will pay, I'll deviate a little bit, the way Americans will paint, the way this Arab do and every other thing, the way some of us Nigeria today will talk about this Fulani men and every other thing. If you want to base it on percentage, what Catholic have done in mankind, I don't even think Islam have even done 20% of what Catholic have done in mankind. So that's where I'm coming from. Late Pope John Paul had to apologize some of the things. The Italians, Americans that you see today in America, they flare because they don't want to join Catholic. You understand? They punish them tremendously and everything. So late Pope John Paul really apologized. This man can do some of these things. So I would say he went far with missionary. And one of the ways is poor people that you bring to the folds. You don't bring rich people to the folds like that. Neither rich people will use your organization as a tool to campaign, to sell their products and everything. But poor people, you bring them to the folds. Rich people will come and use your folds to market their products. That's exactly what he did. So in other words, I would say he's a calm gentleman, but it's still more or less like culture. That's how I would say for now.
All right. Thank you, Paul. Let's go to Mr. James. Everybody here knows Mr. James. He doesn't go to church. He doesn't believe in God. So let's see. Do you think...
Indeed.
Yeah?
I said indeed. As far as I'm concerned, he lived a useless life, believing in an imaginary God that does not exist, and they used it to manipulate the world. Please, Mr. KJ, kindly remind me, that book written by David Yalop in 1984, is it in God's name or in the name of God?
In God's name.
In God's name, thank you. If you read that book,
I read it.
Very good. You see the cases of corruption in the Vatican.
Yeah.
And you will never suspect that these so-called men of God will condescend so low to do despicable things they cannot associate, that cannot be associated with them in public. Religion is nothing but...
They own a condom factory.
Exactly. And they are against the use of condom. Catholic Church is against the use of condom. They are investing in the production of condom. They were involved in political deals and unimaginable things. So look, people should open their eyes. I remember when I was, I think, in the primary school, I was in primary 6 or thereabout, I read a book which I could not understand very well. The book was written by the Jehovah's Witnesses. The title is, What Has Religion Done for Mankind? Religion has caused more calamities to man than any other institution you can think of in the history of man. The death of this man means nothing to me because what they show us in public and what they do behind the scene are two sharply contrasting things which we cannot even imagine. So, is it good riddance of what? I don't know how to say it in English.
Mr. James, hold on, Mr. James. What if at the end of the this process we have a black pope? Would that change your position?
No, at all. You know why? At the United Nations, when Kofi Annan was made Secretary General, we all went wild with joy. What has never, what can never happen in the history of man has happened. What did we gain from it? When Obama was made president of the United States, the Kenyans almost died of joy that we have distinguished ourselves. What did we gain from it? So, look, it's just a question of, I see it as a form of a colonial mentality. To me, the death of Oba Iredawa of Benin is far more important to me. Although I'm not a Benin man, but the death of that man is far more important to me than the death of any bloody pope anywhere. What have they done for us? You said they brought education.
Let me even add a bit.
You know the purpose of Western, the white man's presence in Africa is what has reduced you and me to the level we are in today. If the white man had not come, we would have developed along our own line. They brought religion and all this, trash just to pull us down, and it's pitiful indeed that the black man...
Thank you so much, and I'll talk more about it.
The black man cannot read between the lines. So the death of this man is, to me, I don't know what to say.
Okay, Rudolph, let me just add a little bit to what you said. We will not have a black pope for many reasons, African pope, for many reasons. One of those such reasons is, I remember before the last pope, one of the people who was very high cardinal was Cardinal Arinze, who was believed then to hold a lot because he had done a lot of studies on both the African religion and vis-a-vis the white man's religion. So if Cardinal Arinze was given that opportunity, maybe some of what the church see as demonic or so would have now been looked at from a different point of view. But he wasn't able, he didn't get the vote. He didn't get the vote required. Now, he is 93, so he's not going to get may not get another opportunity to be invited. But the black guy who is there now, one cardinal from Ghana, he is very conservative. He's one of those who believe that the Catholic Church is moving away from what it was intended. So he's not going to probably be given the opportunity. If the church is deciding to move towards a more liberal outlook, they will not give him that opportunity. But if the church is thinking of going back to what it were and what the Bible that they are carrying talks about, then they will defer to this guy who is, from Africa, and who eventually probably will also be able to rewrite or reinstate some of those things that have been taken away from, when the Council of Nicaea, when they meet, what's that council now? Yeah, when they meet in that council, the decisions they take affect the church worldwide, especially the 1-something billion Catholics, which is not a small feat. Thank you, sir.
All right, James.
Everyone listening should try to read that book, In God's Name. The author is David Yallo. It was written in 1984, published in 1984. In that book, you come across a bank called Banco do Ambrosiano. That bank was established in 1896, and it collapsed in 1982. The cases of corruption mentioned in that bank is earthquaking. So people should just open their eyes. If I tell you that God does not exist, anyway, let's leave it at that. Thank you so much.
Mr. Rudolph, can I ask Mr. James a question? Just one.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Mr. James, I just want to ask you, can you educate us a bit? Can you tell us like the major reason why you think God does not exist? I would love to hear your perspective.
I know this is an interesting conversation, but it's going to move us away from.
Yes, it will be protracted.
And it will move us away.
Okay,
we'll invite James. James, what of this? Why don't we invite you one day and then you add and tell us what you think?
Okay. What month are we now? We're now in the month of April. Either in May or June, between May and June.
Okay, all right. We can have that.
I will remind you if you don't mind.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Man of prestige. Welcome.
Greeting again, everybody.
Please, gentlemen.
From where KJ stopped. I think as a historian, the Catholic historian that came was two or 3 days ago, and he stated that a black man will never be a pope, not anytime soon. He was on TV and make that statement. So, your man as well does that done. I don't see any time that a black man will be a president. I mean, will be a pope. Well, having said that, I didn't watch the procession. I used to be a Catholic, but it's been a long time. So now I've been a Baptist for a very, very long time. So having said that, the Pope, I think from my own understanding, he was a Pope for over a decade or something like that. He was the first. He was the first person from Latin America, from South America to ever ascend to that throne. Over a decade. So the man was a very transformative, person when it comes to Catholic Church, because he did a lot of things. Some of them were very controversial. And one of them, that you can see is about the LGBT. We welcome them to be an inclusion to what we do. Even the climate change, he was an advocate of climate change. And there's another one that was very controversial that he advocated for. I think you can't receive a Holy Communion if you been married and divorced. That he allowed, he said they should be included. So he did a lot of transformative things. Some of them, like I said, it was very controversial. He even made a copy, he even dived into politics. When he was referring to Trump, he said, we need to build bridge, not war. He said, because if we are building war, you are not a Christian. So yeah, I don't have that much to say about, like I said, I didn't watch the procession, but in other words, he was very controversial. Even the climate change, he was an advocate of climate change. So a lot of things that he did compared to other ones. So may he still rest in peace. So he was there for over a decade.
So, Man of Presi, can you tell us quickly why you left the Catholic Church?
Oh, marriage. My wife. Yeah. So I decided to go to, because my wife has always been a Baptist. So that's the reason. Because I used to be in the Catholic. My family is still Catholic. I used to be an altar boy. When I was growing up. But life changed.
Just like that, you left the church.
It's not that I just left. I find a different home. Wow. Christianity is still Christianity. Right. So I just decided to go to my wife's church. In that time, I become a Baptist member. So
I will find the other people in your village and find out if they will give you other title after you follow their wife. Follow their wife.
Have Dr. Damage. It's good.
All right. Jide, welcome to the show. Meet yourself, Jide.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Damages.
I know you have a lot to say.
Yes, I do. I mean, yeah, because of time, I'll try to go straight to the point. So, but before I talk, I want to ask a question. Are we going to talk about the latest going on in Burkina Faso? I think it's a very significant news that we should talk about.
Yeah, I played the clip of we can talk about that later. Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. So yeah, first of all, we need to understand as African people, what does the Roman Catholic Church, what role does it play historically and currently in our lives? What we need to understand about the Roman Catholic Church is it is a vestige and a conduit of Western imperialism. If you go into the historical context of Roman Catholic Church, even the Roman Catholic Church itself, even its origin, it was a syncretism of European symbols, European ideologies, European culture, European pagan religion, plus Orthodox Christianity at that time. So we need to have that understanding into why, even when this man was buried, because some people may call it weird symbols. These are European symbols. These are a lot of European pagan symbols are present. If I watch it, I will see all those things. So it does not surprise me. That's number one. Number two, like I said, we need to understand the historical context. The Roman Catholic Church, we need to understand what we call the doctrine of discovery. The doctrine of discovery was a foundation of the Roman Catholic Church that European rulers should go and conquer indigenous people all over the world. They should recognize lands that are not European, and they should go and steal the lands of indigenous people. That is still going on up till today, but it's in a different form. That's number two. Number three, the idea of black people. That's why I don't understand why our enemies, we so much embrace our enemies. It's kind of abnormal, but it is what it is. But the point I want to make is that the idea of African people being slaves to European was by a bishop was a Roman Catholic bishop. His name is called Bartholomew de las Casas. That man was the one that brought up the idea that we African people should be enslaved. So we need to understand, talking about this backdrop, we need to understand we as Nigerians, not just Africans, not as Nigerians, the role of the Roman Catholic Church in our lives. If you look at colonialism, what the Roman Catholic Church came after they conquered a lot of African kingdoms. And what was the role of the Roman Catholic Church? It was to ensure that they civilize us because we are not human. We are, that was what they called us. We are not human. The idea was to civilize us, to make us human, to make us to obey to Western imperialism. And the legacy is still there on a psychological level, even though a lot of us don't practice Catholicism anymore. On a psychological level, on a spiritual level, the way we think and everything. European values, it was a vestige that came with European values. We need to understand that. Now, talking about the Pope, in modern times, the Roman Catholic Church is no longer as conservative as it was at 500, 400 years ago. It's now getting more liberal. But we need to also understand that either it is liberal or conservative, it is still European. It is still European. Either it is liberal, it is LGBTQ plus they are fighting for, or it is conservative, back to the traditional way of what it is. It is still European. It is not African in any way. That's what we need to understand. So this man, this Pope, he has done some good things. He has emphasized, he has manifested his moral authority on the genocide in Gaza. I like what he did by trying to form a rapprochement between US and Cuba in 2014. He played a key role because US and Cuba, of course, they are adversaries. He played a role in ensuring that there is a bit of diplomacy. But in conclusion, this man and whoever is coming after him is still always going to be an embodiment of that traumatic, evil institution that has destroyed our forefathers and is still destroying us up till today. Thank you.
Jide, I just want to mention that Bishop de la Casa, the one you mentioned out of Latin America, he didn't, when he asked for permission to bring people from Africa, he was trying to save the Native Americans. The reason why he did that, they were dying, and
yes, absolutely.
Maybe these Africans are the people who will survive.
Yes,
so it's different from what ended up happening. So it's important to point that out. It wasn't that, and
but the point is, the Europeans, they see us, the kind of slavery that we're chattel slavery. They did it to the Native Americans. It was the same thing, but those ones were dying of disease and of extreme labor conditions and harsh conditions. No doubt about that. Sure.
All right. We have, where is Ike? Okay, Ike is not here. Paul, did you speak? I think you did.
Yes, I did.
Okay. So let's go to Oti. Oti, you look like...
The doctor, now that you talk about, you look like we deviate a little bit. So you see this Reverend Father thing, it's funny the way they accuse my grandparents, they abuse some of my siblings. I know men like me, I'm also weak. And I am trying to get strong. You see a Reverend Father, they say a Reverend Father should not marry, but they give a Reverend Father 4 women around him. You understand? But when Reverend Father peak infection, they say a toilet infection. Those funny things and everything. But we, the Muslims, also take 4 like that. The Reverend Father take, but in a systematic way. And it's just okay. You understand? But when some of us do it, the same church people will criticize us. The same Islam will find a way of criticizing us. But they do the same thing. Is it not funny? That's my take.
All right. Thank you. Oti.
Yeah, hello.
How are you? It's been a while.
Good evening, everyone. I'm fine. Yes. This discussion is the challenge is really you wouldn't know where to start, because people say all sorts of things, James, KJ, Jide here. Right, okay. I'm a Catholic, right? And I watched...
Thank God we finally got one. No, the one that is still practicing, because the rest they gave up.
Well, yeah, I am a practicing Catholic. I mean, if that means going to church on a Sunday, but I've been I wouldn't say I'm such a a devoted human being. But I believe, look, you see, we have standards, okay, the doctrines. At least even if you can't live up to the standard, that is no reason for you to start, criticizing, the standard. So, as I said, people have said all sorts of things. It does baffle me that some of us will come here, well, not only on this platform, people say things that they hardly understand. They lack the humility to say, look, I cannot comment on something I don't understand. James says he doesn't believe in God. Okay, that's fine. But maybe someday he should have the opportunity to explain to us what he believes in, now, white man's religion, that's something surprisingly KJ somehow alluded to. And I ask myself, KJ, if Christianity is a white man's religion, so which one is African religion? Now, because KJ, I understand, is a Christian. Okay, but he's a kind of, used to be a Catholic, he's no longer. That's fine. But again, for our Protestant brethren, people like KJ or other people who are not Catholics or who used to be Catholic, we talk about the Bible, refer to the Bible. Scripture does not say this. Scripture says this. They forget. They don't ask the question, what is the genesis of this scripture, the Bible we're talking about? I mean, the Bible is not something that God somehow threw down from heaven, So that's aside. Now, Jide, I don't know, this is a doctrine of discovery. I mean, as I said, people say all sorts of things. You don't know where to start, from. So this doctrine, so what does it mean, and who propagated this doctrine? Yes, can you perhaps maybe we have time to explain, elaborate? But that is Catholic Church that somehow inspired the colonizers. Okay. The way I understand this is this, when it comes to colonialism, you have to understand that in Europe, they've had a division between the church and the state. It's not something, I think, maybe something in the Enlightenment period. That's something that, that made that shift.
No. This was
I'm going somewhere else. So now when they came to colonize Africa, the Europeans, okay, they came as businessmen, okay, colonizers, after resources, and they're still engaged in that project. But Christianity as a missionary project, I think we should be able to kind of keep that apart, understand for what it is. Missionaries, all right? Even our own people in the present day are missionaries. So we have Africans, and then in Europe and America as missionaries. All right. So they're not coming here to maybe colonize Europeans or maybe take away their resources. So now the question: what has the Catholic Church ever done for us? Quite a lot. Okay. Charity work, education, health, and all these things. The church is an organization, is the ecclesia, the church, and in every human enterprise, there's politics, and that we have. Nobody says that a priest of God or a pastor is without sin. They cannot sin. They're still human beings. So, and those of us that are, when so we have to, they're human beings, right? So we have to. They have an office, and of course, they should live up to. They should try their best as human beings to, live by example, follow Christ. As Christians, we look up to Christ only, no human being, So really, that's I would say some of us who are not Christians, so really making comments on talking about these things that we barely understand. It just shows a lack of humility and arrogance. Now, I don't know this. Yes. Is it Paul? I don't know. Paul. He said his own bit as well. So really, as I said, some of these difficult themes. I watched this the funeral. It was very moving, and for it's a ritual, right? Okay, ritual is important in life, so it's not everything is not. You don't have to kind of bring identity politics into it. Whether an African is going to be a pope. I don't think that is it's not a consideration that really goes into it. It's not anybody can be a pope. Okay, it's not whether it's going to be an American or an African or an Asian or all that. So it's much more than that. What is the crucial thing is much more than where the pope comes from. You see, so this is as I said, there's politics in everything. There's politics in the church, but is a big responsibility. Whoever is
Oti, let me help you. Let me help you narrow it down. So some of the issues facing the Catholic Church today are issues of the role of women. It's not just in the West, all over the world. The women are demanding that the church is so restrictive in terms of the role they could play. There's another issue, which is the idea of finding enough people to be priests. You can see in the Western society, in the Western world, men are not joining the priesthood. They are now importing priests from Africa and other parts of the world to come here and help them out. So the question is, are they going to marry men to be? This is real serious.
Let me respond to that.
So go ahead.
About women. No. Women cannot be priests. No, because this is it's not everything is not politics. Okay, and it's just by nature of it, but by virtue of what as a priest is supposed to be an outer Christus. In other words, somebody representing Christ. Christ was a man, okay? Unless we don't believe there's a difference, we have men and women. So in terms of again, the celibacy, remember that celibacy is not a commandment. It's a discipline. So it's not that the church at some point may decide if that would help. Okay, but it's not so the vow of celibacy, poverty and obedience, right? So these are discipline. It's not. It's not that God does not say you should not marry. And after all, we have priests in the Anglican Communion marrying. So if the church or some gets up to the point where they have to to maintain, to have more priests, it's possible. It's not. I don't think it's such a big issue. But
hold on. So you're okay with that change if that should happen, but you are not okay with women getting any role in the church.
Well, if women have a role in the church, women,
but they are demanding for more. They want to play.
Well, women will always demand for more. So, but that is not having a demand is one thing.
Can I?
Hold on. Let's hear another voice.
So the thing, so because as I said, the Christ was not a woman, right? So and he had the 12 apostles for a reason. I don't know. Okay. With priests marrying, that may happen. It's not. I don't think there's anything biblical, and it's not a kind of against the commandment of God. There's nothing wrong with having. But as I said, discipline, and of course you have to understand the reason behind that. Okay, can you imagine, with a man and the family and the children, and then run the parish and without I would make. So you can understand really what the reason for the church, to have the vow of celibacy, really, because you have to live your life dedicated, married to, So, but once you have a woman and the children, you cannot. There's no way you can devote your entire your whole life to to the church. You see what I mean?
All right. Thank you. KJ, you wanted to say something?
I wanted to help my brother, but maybe we should just leave it. I just want you to understand something, Mr. Oti.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Christ, you made a very good point. Christ chose 12 men, maybe for the reason of the fact that he knows that when women are among men, sometimes there's too much of emotion and all that. But that's a different topic. But I also want to draw your attention to the fact that when Christ rose from the dead, the first people that saw him, the first person who saw him was a woman. The men were not patient enough to wait by the tomb. It was a woman who went there and sat on the tomb and waited until she was able to encounter Christ first. In other words, if we preach the gospel of continuous progression, it then means that the woman's role will change from that point going forward. But I'm not saying that because of that the Catholic Church should jettison, because you see the Bible says that what you said clearly, to be not married or choose celibacy is left to you. and the Catholic Church gives you quite a good room. For instance, if you are a nun, and after some years you don't want to continue, you have to renew your vow almost on yearly basis, and some I think it's about 3 years, or some is before you get to the point where you do it for 7 years. So those people who initially you are still checking, you don't want to continue, you can after 1 year go back and say you want to renounce your this thing, and they allow you go. And I know many people, sisters and even reverend fathers who have gone off this thing to go and marry and live a normal life. So if you are a priest, you don't want to follow the order that you call, leave. You don't have to be playing in here, out here, in here, or there. But you see, I want to say something. The Catholic Church have done a lot, both in human development and also other development, which we are not going to discuss today. But what we are saying is that this Pope has done the much he can do. And whether you like it or not, he was a disruptor of some sort, both for the positive and the negative. Whichever way you want to look at him, he has played his part, and his part has ended, and we wish that the Catholic Church will eventually sit down and analyze and see what way they want to go to continue to walk as Christ will have called them to walk. That's all I will say. Thank you.
All right. So, Oti, one last thing.
Okay.
Before I want to put it together because we have to go. One last thing is, there's something we didn't mention. One of the points of friction was the attitude towards gay marriage and gay couples in the Catholic Church. It was a major one for most Catholics. They felt that this Pope went, and I think that was what KJ was referring to here.
Okay.
That he went far away from what the church should be doing. So what is your take on that? If the church picks another conservative Pope, he's most likely going to reverse that, which would be a problem. Which would be a problem in the Western Hemisphere. But if the church, if they continue on the path of a progressive Pope, it will be in a different direction, which may lead to the churches in Africa and Latin America breaking away from the main Catholic Church. What do you think about that?
Now, the thing is this, okay. First of all, the Pope, I think because of his personality, maybe the way he's off the cuff and speaking and all that, So there was some kind of confusion, okay, in some quarters. So because even the Pope, people criticize him, both within and outside the church. No, but with this again, really, we can make this whole thing simpler. Remember, sex, okay? Any sex outside marriage is a sin. So it doesn't really matter whether it is between a man and a woman, a man and a man, and whatever, man and women, and So, and the same thing applies to homosexual relationship. It's biblical. For those of us that always refer to the Bible, that one is clear there. I don't think so. Sex in the Christian teaching, right, is supposed to be within the conjugal, okay, relationship bond. So homosexuality, I think the church recognizes that it can be a tendency, a disposition, right? But then the fact that you have a tendency doesn't mean that you have to. Okay, so in other words, a man can, or even two men can be friends, but they shouldn't be sleeping together. They shouldn't be having sex together, right? Because as I said, sex, as far as the church is concerned, is something that should happen between a married man and a woman. So I think it's quite simple and plain that way. But you see, with this Pope, maybe people felt, kind of a lack of clarity in the doctrine, or it's just because his theme, his emphasis, this mercy and compassion that the church is kind of is a field hospital, so should be welcoming people. So it kind of creates kind of maybe like confusion. That's where his emphasis, his ministry. But church teaching does not really, change with every Pope, So that is how it is.
Thank you, Oti. Let's go to the final person, a former Catholic also. I don't know whether he went back.
He's current. He's not former. He's practicing.
Can you still back with the Catholic?
He's practicing.
My Catholic affiliation, right?
Hey, Dr. Damages, I have not said anything about the issue of
Oh, I didn't know. Sorry, I'll bring you up next.
I'm a confused. Officially, I'm a confused Catholic. I still go to church every Sunday. Okay, good.
Hey, you better call Luzo to bring you back.
Yeah, I still go to Catholic.
So did you watch
because you know why? You know why I still go to Catholic? I've been to other churches, other denominations, and I found out that yes, Catholic is not perfect, but I think it's still better than all these churches. I'm not talking down on any church, but I've experienced every other denomination and still go back to Catholic. But I don't know. Well, the topic, I'm late. Sorry.
Yeah, but we were talking about Pope, the funeral, and everything that happened. Did you follow? Are you what are your take on some?
My people, they've been busy watching Pope. Some crying for him, some praying for him. I was like, see, this Pope is not as important as my grandfather or my great grandfather, because he's a white man, right? And I know that a black man can never be a pope.
They were in the past.
That was the story. I don't know how truthful that was.
From current Tunisia.
Yeah, I think that was when they were trying to lure black people into the church. So now they've got them into the church and brainwashed them properly. They will never smell that position again.
That was 483 AD. So that was before slavery. So
when they were trying to let us know that it's church for God, universal church, everybody is welcome, but the discrimination continues today.
If they give it to a black person, maybe the guy from Ghana or the guy from Guinea, will that change the way you look at your church or your former church?
No, that won't change anything because it has nothing to do with, race or something. But there are some doctrines in the Catholic Church that I personally don't agree with, right? The fact that a man who bled like a man like me now would choose not to get married, would choose not to have a wife just because he wants to serve God. He will even take an oath that he will never have anything to do with a woman. But behind closed doors, a lot of them are married. I know two that are married with children, training their children in school.
In America,
they will hide their wife somewhere.
Hold on.
And they will be deceiving people on the other side.
In America or in Nigeria?
In Nigeria.
Okay.
I don't know much about the American one because I haven't really gone into their activities, their business. But the ones in Nigeria that have been into their business, I was even telling somebody that, see, I think I have to disgrace this man. He has a wife, one big woman, and he has children. And then on Sunday, he traveled from one local government to the other. His wife is in a different local government. And while he's in a different local government, he has children, training them in school. And he's a priest, a Catholic priest. And the one in America, those from Nigeria that came to America, I know one that is pursuing one married woman up and down. And she kept reporting that this is the shameless man that calls himself.
Are you talking about Augustine in Florida?
No. I don't know Augustine, but they will know themselves. They know themselves, But the truth is, this is one of the doctrines in Catholic that I don't really like. A man should have a wife. Simple. Stop deceiving yourself, because what is celibacy? Who among the Reverend Fathers today, Catholic Reverend Father, will raise his hand and say that he's a virgin? None. No virgin there. None. No single one. And some will prefer to be, doing it with their fellow man. Why are you deceiving yourself? Just be upfront. Have a wife. There's no problem. Like the Anglican reverends do their own. There's no problem with that, But when it comes to the church, the way they worship God, the way they reverence God, I think I like that better than those that speak one language that I don't understand. They call it speaking in tongues. Those things that I don't know who they are trying to communicate to. But I think we all worship the same. I don't know if it's the same God, because some say that Catholics are not really Christians. Some say that Jehovah's Witnesses are not Christians, that they are the only Christians. But we all have one universal Satan. Our Satan is universal, but we have different gods.
And he's black.
And he's black, actually, you see. So the Satan is the black man, and we hardly have one Satan. While God and his deputy, I don't know, they say 3 God in one, Abi. God, we have another God in one. So they are all white people, and the angels are all white people with wings, you know, while the devil are black people with tail. Do you understand? So
Okay, thank you. Mass is over. Ike, you are the final person on this topic. Ike, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I just want to
win the American listening system and do not put
just
a
want to
single
say
penny down in the process, guys. If you live anywhere in the area right now, this
noise is coming from somewhere.
Yeah, if you please go ahead, Ike.
Yeah, I just want to say, may the soul of the Pope rest in peace, and for his family and the people of Argentina. He comes from a very poor neighborhood, like somebody was saying, I think Rosaria or one other, ghetto in Argentina. For me, I think I saw him, he tried to live his life based on his story and where he's coming from. And I think that's one of the things that I admired about the Pope. He has a lot of human sympathy, human feeling, and also he gets himself involved in politics, the issue of Ukraine up to today. Even with his last breath, he was still speaking and condemning Russia for what they do in the Palestinian issue also. So in those areas, I really humanize the man. He tried to live his life based on the story of his upbringing. And we cannot take that away from him. The other things that the politics of the churches is something else that is, I don't want to get myself into it, but as I was born in a Catholic family, most of us who are Igbos, I think majority of us were born in a Catholic family. And I also have the opportunity to attend seminary school. And I think also the reason that I left seminary school, not really I wanted to go, but family, you want you to become a reverend father, but when I got in, I discovered that, a man will not marry. And at the end of the day, after my final time in class 1, I ran away from Omawa Seminary School and I went to Lagos to continue my education, So, and my few experiences, I saw a lot of things, because we used to live with the Reverend Father. And, so I think the Catholic Church need a lot of, they need to change a lot of things, because the idea men cannot marry, the women don't marry, like my brother Kenneth said, they do a lot of things at the back. And I don't see the God they're serving, I'm not trying to judge anybody because whatever that is happening in the Catholic Church is happening in all the living churches and churches all over the world. So, but the idea that a man who somebody is talking about celebrity, when they do the celebrity, you still see them involved in doing so many things. The atrocity that is committed behind closed door in Catholic Church, that somebody was saying that this Pope did not really hit hard on it or apologize for what the Catholic Church did to a lot of people. Even in America today, it's still going on, young people who have become adult that were sexually abused, So we cannot shy away from that. So whosoever that the responsibility should fall upon this time, I think they need a cleanup, in the hierarchy of the church. So, but I think that this man was, for me personally, I think he was a good man. He tried to live a good man's life, and I give him that. And finally, for your president in America who went to sit with Zelensky, is angry that Zelensky have refused to cede Crimea. I can't really understand why somebody should be telling Ukraine to cede Crimea for Russia. This is why I don't really want to get involved with American politics and this man that is a president in America, because I cannot explain why you should tell a country to cede Crimea for Russia for peace today. What kind of peace is that? So I think above all, it is well. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. We are going to take a break. When we come back, we talk about Nigeria, where we are running into a one-party structure.
Doctor, before you change and everything, I don't know whether you may come back. Please, I've been off for some time now, which I believe you know. I just want to ask, you always keep my mind on the time zone. I don't want to bug you because I don't really know your schedule. About the July 25th and 27th program.
Well, I was hoping that the flagship would join us today and give us updates because he's the one organizing that. But he's not able to join today. There will be an update on next week or maybe tomorrow. I will let you know. Okay?
Mr. Paul, we're just going on break. He's not going to hell. So
I'm not going to hell. I'm still going to come back.
Don't mind Paul. Don't mind us.
We'll take a break and then we'll come back. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
Tó fẹ́ kú torí ẹ̀ o. Ọwọ́ ẹni ló ti ṣàánú kọ́. Ayé la bá, ayé la fi sílẹ̀ sí. Lọ́nà èyí yóò.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Thank you for staying with us. I haven't seen forefathers, so we are going to continue until we see him. It looks as if we are moving towards a one-party state in Nigeria. A lot of people are concerned. Some people see it as a master strategist in action. I want to know what you guys think about the political developments in the country, where you have someone like Okowa, former vice presidential candidate for the PDP, joining APC, and Ganduje threatening now, telling us that more people are going to join in days to come. So what does that mean for our democracy? Let me start with, where did I stop? The last people that spoke. AY, come on. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, well, to be honest, these things going on in Nigeria, the movement from one party to another, I'm not particularly surprised. I think I've said on this platform many times that Nigeria politicians are the same. I know people like Mr. Oti will still come for me. Nigeria politicians are the same. No this and no peace. Even if I hear tomorrow Peter will be the cap to APC, I will not be surprised for a second. I don't trust Nigeria politicians. They are the same. Basically, they don't have ideology. It's all about their personal interests. This is the problem we're having. Nobody cares about the ordinary man in the streets. Are you also surprised that Atiku that will be 80 years in 2027 or 81 is planning to contest? Like, what do you want to offer the people you've not offered to them at 80? That is great. So that tells you what is going on with our politicians is great. A lot of people are still on the cap. If you actually take statistics now, people from the Senate, from the ASO Rock that have the cap, especially the so-called Labour Party we were seeing as said, when people were running, jubilating, running after, I'm like, forget about these people, all of them are the same. Yeah, Peter Obi was a bit different. He was the face of Labour Party. But most of these guys, Labour Party was just a special purpose vehicle to move to achieve their aim. Again, a lot, you will see a lot is still going to happen. Right now, I think part of the reason you see this, there is a lot of pressure coming to Tinubu from the north. So Tinubu is trying to gain more ground in the south, especially the south. Because from what I'm seeing now, by 2027, I think almost all the states in the south, probably one will remain in other party. Most all of them, they are going to be in APC. Because right now, though it's APC, Delta is APC, Rivers is AP, PDP, so I think it's definitely going to move to APC. Calabar, Cross River is APC. Akwa Ibom, the governor have openly declared that he's supporting to move in 2027. So there is negotiation going on in Akwa Ibom because that is the state where Akpabio is from. So Akpabio might be negotiating with the governor. Let's say, move to our party, will give you automatic ticket. you fly the ticket. So the only state that is really left now is Bayelsa. Bayelsa is the smallest state in the south-south. So I'm not even going to be surprised. I'm not even going to be surprised if Bayelsa itself move along that line. So meaning you want to cover the south-south. Southeast, there is rumor of the Enugu state government moving to APC. I don't know how true. You're going to see more politics. I'm telling you. I also have this personal feeling. Even Soludo is going to, if he win his second tenure from what is going on now, he's going to win. But if he's interested in federal politics, you might see him in APC. Don't be surprised. So what I will really love to see, I want to see, again, the opposition, they are not ready, they are sleeping. This is the honest truth because of most of their greed. The only way I see a formidable opposition against Tinubu is Atiku dropping his interest, allow somebody from the south to contest, looking for a stronger candidate in the north that can support him. There will be genuine coalition that can really challenge Tinubu. Otherwise, I mean, they've been talking a lot, right? Look at the electoral reform. Nothing has been done since the 2023 election. You expect now there is a lot of discussion around let transmission of results, let it be compulsory. They must be transmitted electronically. Nothing has been done. We have a lot of other reforms. You don't hear the opposition saying anything about them. PDP is fractured. Wike is controlling one part. Wike will never give up. He's having a portfolio in Abuja. Wike will do everything to make sure he destabilizes PDP. So PDP basically is, they are really like, they're supposed to be in intensive care unit. But it's really sad what is going on. The party is really moving towards one party state. Even I'm hearing some of the governors in the north, they also negotiating, like Governor of Adamawa is having issue with Atiku, is negotiating with APC. So it's just madness going on. The biggest disappointment is they don't care about the people. They don't care about the people is my biggest frustration about the whole thing. Lack of planning is a big problem. Like somebody was discussing, initially we were discussing how the ASO Rock, they tried to pay 10 billion naira or so for solar, and they are making excuses. That comparing it with America, is really a big disappointment because the reason why Jimmy Carter installed solar in White House was simply because of the greenhouse and to reduce gas emission. That is the main reason why they installed it. But in Nigeria, we have a problem of electricity. I think they said Band-Aid give us 24 hours light. Why are they not using Band-Aid in ASO Rock? So until we learn to really work on this problem, we're going nowhere. If you really want to, if Tinubu can start from, okay, let me solve the problem of power generation. Let me solve the problem of power transmission. We know the problem we are facing is power distribution. Now, the problem is not even defined, so we don't even know where we are. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, AY. Kandu, while we round up and go to the next stream. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I generally don't talk about APC, PDP, because I think they're all useless people. Really, even if you want to take from the days of Obasanjo till today, what has any of these people done for the people? And here's the dichotomy that I face. I am beyond perplexed that human beings can go out of their home and vote for these people. Given the suffering these people have been putting on you for decades. Even this APC or Jagaban, what have they done for you? And this is why when some people say let them suffer, well, I'm a little bit, inclined to agree. That is why I tend not to look at the Nigerian situation as a group. I want to look at individuals and how can those individuals better themselves going forward. If any one of these people, it's just like people that went and left their homes and went and voted for Trump. It's like, and these people are allowed to reprocreate and have children. It's amazing to me. I mean, from the days of Omololu Olunloyo to Peter Odili but this is how you see, when I say most human beings on the planet from time immemorial are foolish. Some people say, why do you talk like that? Whether you go from Lisbon to Kinshasa to Madagascar, wherever you go in the world, most people they even do things that are against their own best interest. Whether you go from Russia to Istanbul to Poland, America, human beings, they enjoy suffering. They like to vote for people that will oppress them. They like big manism. That big man, let him come and fix it. So, I said this on the day they said Tinubu was president, that hopefully in 6 months we'll have a military rule. And some people rightfully say, don't you understand what military rule can do? How they can come and disrupt things? In my own military rule, the type of military ruler I've been looking for is the like of Traore guy or...
Thank you, Kandu. I agree with you for the first time.
The former president of Ghana, Rawlings. That's the type of leaders. I think they need to change. I need to write to them. They need to change the definition of leadership, because leadership is not about you. It's not about how many cars, how many houses you can buy. It's about people that are willing to lead their people to a promised land that they themselves might not even be a part of. That's leadership. None of these people have anything. They should not even be calling them anything that resemble leaders. So if the people let them go and vote. If the governor they come from APC, move from APC to CPA or whatever they like, they need, maybe they just need to keep suffering. Maybe that's what they need. Honestly, I'm tired of these people.
Wow. Thank you, Ando. And KJ, I will bring you in, but that will be the last on this stream. We have another stream that is ready. Our forefathers is there. We are going to switch to that stream and continue the conversation. But KJ, go ahead. Yeah, I wanted to show. I don't know if Show is watching because I'm looking for this video of where Show asked what happened to KJ? Where Show asked P2B, are there some politicians you will now run with, that you will not be part of, even if that's the only way you are going to be president? Because for those who are watching what's going on in Nigeria, they just narrowed down the options that if Atiku is not going to give way for a younger candidate, that the only way that power could leave APC is if someone like P2B will run for president with someone like El Rufai. So which would be an interesting combination, but that's what people are putting out there, that El Rufai is the only one that can convince the North. So, but in the next few weeks and months, we are going to get an intense conversation on what is going to happen with Nigeria. KJ, round off. Why?
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, I agree with part of what Kandu has said and what you have said. I think that P2B should be very careful. You see, what you're seeing right now is a typical the northern oligarchy politics. They're not taking anybody serious. They're just marking out your best candidate and making preparation on how to tackle them. It's just like a football match. They're looking for your best, and they're preparing somebody who will take the person out when the time gets there. The truth of the matter is that the Tinubu administration has punctured the pride of the North. Even though he has done that to almost every other part, but the North feels very aggrieved because it's not keeping to the agreement that have been agreed. And that agreement is that you hold your own side, we hold our own side. But unfortunately, he has not only disempowered the vice president, he has also gone ahead to make very one-sided appointments. And to rub it in, he's still going ahead to do more things by taking over states, which we should be proud on this channel, because we talked about this the very first time we were analyzing Tinubu's administration and how it's going to go. We said he's going to come in and establish one party state. We said Wike was coming to the center. We said MC Olumo was coming to the center. So majority of what we predicted was going to happen is exactly what is playing out. And all of a sudden, the person who built Lagos is not able to build anything. So, having said that, we should watch out. I mean, if I was Peter Obi's advisor, I would say to him, don't get into any agreement with El-Rufai. I will, in fact, like I said, this is a typical northern. In fact, he is more sure to go with his old vice president, Datim Ahmed, than to go with any other person. This is the same thing, reason why we say from this point also, go and you have 6 million votes in the kitty, which they accepted you had. Take those votes and start a party. If we have done that by now, we will not be looking helpless, because right now, from my own reading, the intention is to make sure that he is, flagged from every point. Any political agreement entity is going to go in will be totally reduced. Now, imagine Okowa, even though I have no, if you have 1.3 trillion naira charge against you in AFCC, if I were the one to, I would defect to APC. If you are bold enough to steal that kind of money from your people, of course, that means you don't have any moral standing. So let's not even try to preach moral standing, because these Nigerian politicians don't have none. Not Akwa Ibom. Just look at the people, the parade of people we put on the the political sphere. All of them have one thing or the other, standing against them. So it's not even people who will say, based on moral stance, I will not move. Based on this, no, they're not concerned about the ordinary Nigerian. They are concerned about how they can continuously to milk the cow as long as they can take it. It's not going to change. The only time change will come is when we, the Nigerian people, say enough is enough. And so far, we are not saying that. We are absorbing and absorbing and absorbing and absorbing, and hoping that God will come down from heaven, or better still, as we say in theater, send that machina that comes down from heaven, a Zorro, will just drop and then finish everything and go back to heaven, and then we'll just keep living a peaceful life. No country does that. Okay? There's a famous American president that said that the freedom and republic is only one election cycle away from going into what? Into anarchy or going to dictatorship. We're already there. So we have even gone beyond that point. We are there where one man's law is much stronger than the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So I pity those people who are going to contest in 2027. We said here, if they are still going to do the same thing, if there's no PVC, now the INEC is saying they want to make sure that people can use paper votes to be able to vote. If those things are going to be put in place, my brother, why do you need to waste your time to contest? It's just going to be another waste of time. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Dr. Damages.
All right. Thank you so much, KJ. I think Fofadas is here, and I want to tell you guys that I read some comments, and I see a comment here from Oscar Blackbone talking about I should play the video of Obovowerei bowing to Ribadu. We do see all these things. There's no video you see that we don't see. We do see them, and I just want to make sure that people know that we see them. If it's relevant to the conversation we are having, we play them. If it's not, we don't think there's any need. But in this case, This is an old video, so you know also it's an old video, and I just want to use that to end the show. I want to thank everybody who joined us. I want to thank the people who supported us. It's really important, and we appreciate all of them. Kulata, One Man, Jaja, George, Blue Shell, Abby, it's been a while, Black Beauty. Thank you all. And thank you those in the panel. KJ, thank you. Kandu, thank you. Forefathers, no chance for you to speak, but thank you. AY, thank you. Jide, thank you. Kenneth, thank you. Oti, thank you so much. Ike, thank you. Paul, thank you. And those on the comment sections, I just showed you that I read your comments. Not all of them, but thank you all. I appreciate everybody. We end with that video of Shore meeting Ribado. I don't know how old that was, but it was a long time ago.
So Shewole was actually genuflecting on the altar of his famous trust.
No, who Ribado?
Well, brother.
Oh my goodness. It's good to see you.
Look at this guy.
Your hometown.
Presidential candidate.
I am right now in Ribado hometown. This used to be my hometown. You're like this man that put in jail the general police. You're welcome. He's senior officer. His name is jail. We have disrupted everywhere. From Taraba to Adamawa. Nothing is left. Even on our way here, we disrupted herdsmen. We stopped the herdsmen. What is the problem? Let's have a discussion about what's your problem. They don't have any problem. The problem is the leadership in the country. How are you? How are you?
All right, and tomorrow on 90 Minutes Africa again, we are going to have Chika Odoa joining us. If you can make it, that would be wonderful. Once again, thank you everybody for joining. I appreciate all of you.
Thank you. We got to 80,000 followers, subscribers on YouTube. Come on, clap for yourself. I saw it. We made it. Thank you. Thank you. You see, you thought I will never get that. I know. Our friends are at 800,000, 8 million. I know, but this is the first step. Next time, 800,000. I'm telling you, it's just 10%. What is it? 100% will be 800,000. You can do it by subscribing. Pim. That's it. Pim. And for those who go and unsubscribe, let me tell you, they don't tell me who you are. YouTube doesn't tell me who you are. I will have come to your house to talk to you and say, what? Come on now, let's talk. What did I do? I mean, today I might upset you, I know, but tomorrow I'll make you happy. It happens maybe once every four. How did Tinubu say that? Fortnight. Fortnight. Come on. Thank you.
It's a new one. Yeah, it's a new one. All right. I'll see you guys.